That's gonna be on the Spotify now.
Fuji go hide them. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Why are you laughing? I didn't even do anything. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday? I was about to say Tuesday. Thursday, April 7th. Heavyweight Bros, episode number 39. Is there a famous 39? Football, basketball.
I think your boy wore 39 at one point, Dwight Howard.
No, he wore 37 too, I think. Larry Saka from the two-time champion Miami Dolphins, the fullback. Larry Saka, all-pro, wore number 39. So this is the Larry Saka episode. Wow. What's up? So people be like, oh, you a Dolphins fan? I'm like, yeah, I go back, boy. Wow. I go back. And on my team history. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, episode 39, Heavyweight Bros. We in the building. I'm your host, as always, the 5XL assassin, the diabolical diabetic, your boy, the big, nasty. Oh, look at you supporting. Look at you supporting. I'm not wearing a good move.
I'm going to keep doing it until you do.
You're going to be wearing a lot of diabetic shirts and it's Raiders colors. I think that's the real reason why you grabbed it. And of course, to my right is my man, the high yellow hitman, Coach Buck, the freaking Diggin, my little dumb boy, my man. Raisin, what's going on, man? How you doing?
It's big dumpling.
I know what you're trying to do is you're trying to ruin it so that I don't say it anymore. Yep. It's not going to work. Yep. I'm just going to take a big dumpling on your chest. That's all it's going to be. Look at now it's worse for you. And now you're just like, why did I do that?
Oh, my goodness. I'm doing well.
Are you?
I am doing well. Yeah, man. I'm doing good, man. I got a little vacation geared up. You know what I mean?
I feel like you said I'm doing well. And you looked at the ground. I was like, I'm doing well. That was like I'm maintaining instead of I'm doing well.
I'm making it through.
You know how like when you see two older black gentlemen and they see each other, like, oh, what's going on, Phil, man? How you doing? And like one of them's not doing so, he's like, maintaining, man.
Oh yeah.
Maintaining.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what that was.
That video is like, you ask that man, how's he doing? He's like, I'm good. He's not good.
He ain't good.
He is battling demons you wouldn't even know about.
Listen, man. All you need to say, or all my favorite one is like, just try to get like you, Playboy, because I see you out here.
Oh man, I hate those type of statements like it must be nice.
Oh,
like, bro,
don't do that.
That's low key hate right there, man. Like just try to get like you, Playboy. No, what's wrong with you?
Everything's sunny on your side.
Right, like man. You don't know how green the grass is over here. Jcole said, "Love yours."
I always say I'm trying to get like you when I grow up. And people like that for some reason, even though I'm older than them.
Yeah, I think that's a compliment. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that, like, I don't know. That other one's kind of like a backhanded compliment. It's like it sounds like some hater stuff, man. But no, I'm good.
Everything's sunny in your area, but over here it's looking like
right. I know you ain't hurting for it, man. Like what? Like,
yeah, bro.
Come on, man. What? Come on, man. But yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Like we're getting close to vacation, so like the vacation anxiety is building up. It's like that, or it's like not the anxiety, the anticipation. Right? Anticipation, yeah.
A 3 for me, but yeah.
3.
Oh yeah. I told you I'm going vacay.
Oh, so you get to leave early, type of deal. You already told them.
I put them days in. Them days.
Where are you going again?
BMS.
That's right. Go see the fam, because apparently Apostle's out here hosting, like running to the family, hosting podcasts and radio shows.
He's definitely on a little radio gig out there, man. I heard he did his thing too, man. I heard
the way you made it sound like he got famous real quick, and they try to get him, like they try to lock him in.
Oh yeah. That man, you know what I mean? That man's got the silver tongue, man. He's talk game legend.
I'm gonna keep all my comments to myself.
Well, yeah. Shout out to the pops, man. Wendell Clark Thompson.
Jeez, all right, drop this whole government.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna be watching and be like, "I've been looking for Wendell. He's in the Bahamas, huh?"
He don't care.
The Bohemian Demon.
That name means strength where they come from, man. So they make sure you know all the names. They make sure you know all the names.
Okay. Right, should we watch one? Should we dive right in?
Yeah, I asked you how you was doing. You didn't say nothing.
I did. I said I was doing good. And what you call it? Vacation's coming up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, vacation anxiety. All right. So yeah, we'll get right into digging in the crates.
I feel like I put a lot of pressure on people because I tell them how much they don't ask me how I'm doing, and like now everybody's making it like a forceful effort. And I'm like, oh, well, all it does is reaffirm the fact that you didn't listen to me when I did tell you how I was feeling.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow, double negative, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You just make people feel worse about themselves, huh?
That's what I do. I'm a guilt trip dog. Like,
Wow.
listen, that's how I get most of my stuff. Because I put so much good out there.
Take a page out of your book and be like,
fine.
You'll get over it. You'll get over it.
Doing fine.
Yeah, I better stop letting Joel live rent free in y'all heads. Cut it. All right, but yeah, let's get into this digging in the crates. No diggity, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna get right to it. Grammys happened.
Right.
Nobody got slapped in the face.
I didn't expect that to happen.
Mm-hmm. I did see some. Maybe that was a different show, but I seen some comedian who's like wearing a whole helmet. Like I was told the comedians are supposed to wear this. That's the funniest one I've seen in a little bit.
That's the funniest joke. I feel like that's the most low-hanging fruit joke that's out there.
I'm talking about
also Kanye didn't show up, so like that's what everybody was really anticipating.
It still took home almost every Grammy they had to present. But we'll get right to it. You want to start with Kanye, or do you want to start with who won?
The fact that we're talking about Grammys, and one of the people that's in the Grammys, we do a joke about him like all the time. Mm-hmm. And you didn't do the first thing first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Wow.
And it's like Jcole's on there. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Wow.
Just A-Town stuff it like all over everything. Come on, man.
First things first.
Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. For real.
For real, because the homie got snubbed.
Well,
for real.
So the hip hop album of the year wound up going to Tyler the Creator for Call Me When You Get Lost.
Okay.
You look like you got some thoughts because he did end up on both of our top 5 lists. Mm-hmm. But I think actual hip hop heads thought this was a 2-album race. Mm-hmm. King Disease 2 and The Off Season. Mm-hmm. And Tyler was kind of like the one where it was like, we don't think Kanye's album is good enough to win this. And no one thought Drake's album was good enough to win it. And so we were hoping those two didn't win. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it seems like they just gave us Tyler, but it's like, why people love Tyler? Why sugarcoat it and like, why pretend? Because it's like, first of all, it sucks that we have to care that the Grammys cares. Because like, we don't have anything of the level of the Grammys. We should, but we don't. So because of that, we are always subjected to the Grammys not understanding and respecting like our culture and like our albums. Cause like everybody always knows what's going to win and then it doesn't win. Mm-hmm. And like, this isn't as egregious as the Macklemore over Kendrick Lamar. Ugh. Like that's like the worst one. Like that was the biggest one, but it's just like, I don't know what the real case is. Cause it's like, I don't think Tyler did anything like groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. To be like, oh man, like this is to show us like what all the directions that hip hop could go in or something like that. So like, I don't know what the argument was for putting it over Cole and Nas.
It was not a better album.
It was not.
It was not a better album. Clean cut. Less words. It was not a better album. This was one of the most easiest decisions you can make for a Grammy.
There's 2 choices.
So right. I go Nas, everybody's like, all right, cool. Some disagreements, some agreements. You go Cole, okay. That's cool. Some disagreements, some agreements. But then when you don't give it to either one of them, and it's nothing against Tyler, but like that was your 2 decisions. Cheese or no cheese. It's like
what? And they were like, but jelly.
Right. So I don't know.
Cheese or no cheese. What? What was I supposed to do with that? Like, what, with jelly?
You made it happen. You made it happen. Fun fact: some kids do put jelly on their chicken patties. It's disgusting.
Ooh, shout out to Nari. Why would you even put that on here right now?
Shout out to Nari. I don't know. Same. That's the same way I felt when Grammy didn't go to Cole and Nas. Like, why are we even doing this right now? And once something like that happens, you already know what the night of the Grammys is about to look like.
Yes.
You're like, all right, this is about to be a night of
but Cole got snubbed twice.
Yes.
But like, we'll get to that in a second. But and you just said something. Sorry, I just got thrown off because you were just saying like you could tell how the night's gonna go. Oh, so like, what's the deal with the Grammys? By the way, like the Grammys hadn't even started and they had already announced like who won the awards.
Really, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so like the Grammys started at like 8. At 7:30, it was already like, hey, Tyler won for best rap album.
That's terrible.
And I was like, the whole time I was like, why do we know this already? And then they were like, Olivia Rodrigo won for like best new artist and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I literally just saw her on the red carpet. And I was like, why is this a thing?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I was like,
was that just on TV or was that everywhere?
What do you mean?
So like the people who were going there knew that they had won already?
I don't know if they knew they had won already, but what I'm saying is like the internet, like I'm talking about like the Grammy Twitter account was just like, congratulations to Tyler, the Creator, for winning. And like, mind you, like this brother hasn't even sat in his seat yet.
Sold that info for some bucks. Somebody sold that info for some bucks.
So aside from that, Kanye West, he won a couple of them. You said he cleaned up. I don't really remember.
I would say he won like 3.
Yeah, but like he didn't win Song of the Year. That went to Baby Keem and them, right? Or Family Ties. Which another one, I was just like, if it wasn't for that Kendrick verse, I don't think this song is that great.
I'm telling you.
And but like, I think Kanye won for like best production for like Jail. I think it was.
I'm about to look it up right now. Keep talking.
Okay. But like another one where it's like, granted, I understand that like Cole's album was only like 9 songs or something like that, and it's like none of them were really radio friendly, or they weren't played on the radio. But the song that was up there, the one with 21 Savage, My Life, it was like, to me, I think it was like my number 1 song for the year last year, or no, it was like number 3 or something like that. But like, it's not even close. And then like some of the other songs were like songs from like Saweetie. Like I said, Kanye had Jail. There was like another one.
So he won for Jail.
For Song of the Year?
Yep. For rap song, yep. And then melodic rap performance with Hurricane.
Melodic?
There you go.
I was like, man, that's how you read that? Mellow Dick?
Mm-hmm.
You really are a Knicks fan.
Wow.
Come on, man. That was solid.
Wow.
That was a good
one. Yeah. So maybe it was just 2, but like in the photo, he's holding 3 Grammys.
I don't know. To me,
it was only 2. It was only 2.
I don't think Jail is that great of a song where you should have won for it anyways. Maybe the melodic one, I guess, because I don't know what the other nominees were. But it's like, I guess good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I rocks with Kanye, man. I rocks with Kanye. Sidebar, Schoolboy. Nope. Who's the boy from Worcester? Joyner Lucas got a new song out called "Ye's Not Crazy."
Okay.
And he's got like, I'm pretty sure it's not Ye, but he's got like somebody dressed in the red coat with the boots, the Yeezy outfit on. He's like playing the beat machine in the back of the video. It's not a bad song. Not a bad song.
I feel like I'd be like, oh, Joyner, like that's a pretty interesting title. Let me tell you about this 3-part Netflix documentary that you can watch back and just prove to you. Kanye pretty crazy. He's a genius in a musical genius, stuff like that. But I was like, boy, still crazy. And it's okay. You can be more than one thing, but it's just like
you can be more than one thing.
You can. Boy, crazy though. So like, and like all the documentary proves is like, oh, Kanye been crazy. Just what you call it. It was also crazy nights on these beats. And he thought that the greatest. I know you don't listen to Doja Cat, but I was kind of happy for her to win. I don't know why, y'all.
Her face is annoying to me.
Her face is annoying because her face to me, I'm like, I hate how much I'm attracted to Doja Cat.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's nothing against her. It's just like I see like kids wearing the shirt. Like I see her.
What shirt?
Like a Doja Cat shirt with like.
Oh, okay, like
it's like
a picture on it.
Yeah, like one of them old school '90s shirts with it just says Doja Cat on it with her face. It's just like, I don't know. I see like videos and stuff, and I'm just like, Like I've never listened to any of her music, and it's nothing against her. It's just like
I didn't even notice. You know what I bopped up some of her stuff.
That's her song.
Yeah,
never would have noticed. Never would have noticed. But yeah, I heard she retired anyway, right?
Do you remember what?
Yeah, it was like on Twitter or something. She's retiring from music or something.
I mean, people just be saying stuff. You don't remember the oh man, what was the challenge? Where was like where the girls would do something and then like all of a sudden they would turn red and they wouldn't have like any clothes on for a minute.
Silhouette challenge.
Yes, but that was a Doja Cat song too.
Wouldn't know. Didn't even notice.
Well, let's go move on to the next thing, man. What's going on?
So, Schoolboy Q has a new song out.
He's killing you with this name, bro.
My tongue is tied. I turn melodic into. Forget it. We keep moving along. All right. So, Schoolboy Q's got a new song out called "Soccer Dad."
I listened to 4 seconds of it, and I was like, I could tell him I like this song.
Fire.
Yeah,
it's fire.
I love Schoolboy Q.
You can't go wrong with Schoolboy. I don't think there's like. I won't say I've listened to 100% of his music, but the music that I have listened from him, I have never not been.
He don't miss.
Yeah, I have never not been entertained.
Why haven't you gotten into Schoolboy Q?
No, I listen to a lot of Schoolboy Q. I'm just saying I probably haven't listened to 100% of his music. I'm pretty sure there's a song here and there I probably missed.
Oh, you talk to any one of these fans on here, you don't listen to 100% of anybody's music. As much as you love Hove, but did you listen to Hove's back catalog that he used to when he recorded in the Marcy Staircase? Because I was there. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's called the Crack Album.
Right, it's like, all right, bro.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And then
but you weren't bopping with the Lion King soundtrack when he was on these 5 tracks.
I was a fan of Hawaiian Soapy fame.
Well, like, okay,
right,
okay,
cut it out.
I got Jazz O's albums just because I knew Jay-Z. You can be that guy if you want to.
Cut it out, right? Terrible, but yeah, he's like you said, he don't miss. I haven't heard a Schoolboy Q song that I didn't like. And this song is fire, and I'm pretty sure it's alluding to his soon-to-be album drop.
I would hope so.
Yep. I haven't seen a date for it yet, or like a track list, or how long it may be. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some fire features on there. I'm hoping there's a Kendrick on there. There may be a Ye on there.
Can I be the guy? Because like I feel like it needs to come. I kind of just don't care if Kendrick doesn't do any music anymore.
He could literally retire right now and still be good.
Hey, he's fine, but it's just like
I feel like right now he's in that zone where Jordan won the first 3 rings, and then he went to baseball. It's just like if he never comes back from baseball, you still won them 3 rings in a row.
Yeah,
but he could come back and win 3 more.
Well, my thing is like Kendrick does this thing where it's like he purposely drops like a verse or like he'll do something so that way all the fans will just be like, oh my god, like King Kendrick's coming back and stuff like that. And like that's them jerking him off if you couldn't tell. But it's just like they're like they can't wait for Kendrick to come back like that. I'm like, I think I'll be just fine if Kendrick doesn't come back.
Real rap is back.
Oh, what he was like smoking on top 5, high. Like everybody was like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. I was like, it was a good verse, but they were just like going so crazy, and I'm like, I think Kendrick's one of the 3 best rappers out right now, but it's like people go so crazy for him, and I'm just like,
the anticipation is building up, man. You know what I mean?
And that's what he is.
So suspenseful.
He's like I'm sorry, but he's a cock tease, and it's like he's ain't gonna get you there. He's like, oh, the album's coming. Oh, no, it's not. You're gonna get the Black Panther soundtrack. And like, just like that. It's just like,
which was still fire.
It won a Grammy, I think, too. It's like, oh, good. Because that's Grammy's trying to make up for the fact that he didn't win for Good Kid, Mad City over The Heist or whatever Macklemore's album was. But it's just like, yeah, you're just like, oh, hopefully Kendrick's out here. I'm like, I'm kind of at the point where it's like, if he's not going to drop the album, I don't need to hear from Kendrick. Like, again, like I'm all set.
I'm all set with what you're saying. I want him to be on the Schoolboy Q joint because when they get together, that joint is fire.
I do like the Schoolboy Q Kendrick combo. I must say, I think the Schoolboy Q J-Rock combo is better. I think
it's dope. I mean, J-Rock, he does good features though. Like he's really good at catching.
But the J-Rock Kendrick combo is like one of the better. Is one of the best combos.
Definitely fire.
That's the real peanut butter jelly right there.
Definitely fire. So
like we'll Schoolboy Q and Kendrick is like peanut butter fluff. It's not peanut butter and jelly, but it's like it's pretty good. You're about to tell me that fluff is better than jelly, aren't you?
No, I was gonna say some people may argue that fluff is better than jelly.
Okay,
I'm not one of those people.
It's not.
All right, and last but not least, Push released the song.
You know I'm gonna find a song that has last but not least in it because you say that a lot too.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. And it's like I'm going to find a song that has last but not least in it, so that way I can link on to it.
That would be dope. But yeah, Push released his song.
Yeah.
Neck and Wrists Don't Lie, featuring none other than Jay-Z, Hove.
Your boy.
Did you get to listen to it?
I did. I listened to it like 3 times.
I listened to it 12 times.
Okay, so by all means,
the song is fire. I love the beat. I love the cadence. I love the vibe that they coming with. Like even when Push first comes in and he's like, the first 500 you're supposed to put in the safe and forget the combination. It's just like fresh in the beach with $1 million auto. Bring a cameraman. We can shoot our own narco.
I thought you were to keep going. Do you know?
Oh yeah, 812 matte black looking like charcoal.
That was it. That was all right.
No, that's it. But no, I like the song. I like the way Jay-Z comes in, but you know me, I'm gonna be biased in that situation either way. But I'm glad that he finally made the statement that everybody else is saying in the verse where he was just like, they be like, if Big was here, Hov wouldn't be in this position. And he was like, if Biggie would survive, y'all would have got the commission. Hov is gonna always be Hov towards the universe will, because the law said so. And I'm here. The joint's fire, bro.
Yeah.
The joint's fire. Floor plans ain't nothing like the motto. I'm trying to tell you, man. So that joint is in daily rotation. I'm listening to that joint every morning. I probably banged it out like 3 times on the way home. Like,
I definitely listened to it one time on the way here.
oh yeah.
Besides, let me get a refresher.
Oh yeah. I switched a couple of lanes on the way to the crib too. Like,
yeah. Every time.
Word. And like, I think credit to Push is just like, he didn't overexert himself with his bars. It wasn't like, because I'm on a track with Jay-Z, I got to be super elaborate with it. Because, I mean, it's not his first
Double
time.
and triple entendres.
Right. It wasn't his first time, you know what I mean, doing a track with Jay-Z, but he didn't overextend himself. You know what I mean? He kept it Push. You know what I mean? He kept it, like, I won't say basic, but he stayed at the same level with everything he was doing. And that joint still hit. Then Jay-Z came in and finished it off. I think that joint's dope. I'm surprised it's only at $500,000 in the first day.
Surprise?
Yeah.
I remember you said last week about like how low the numbers were for Benny's album.
And then the next day it was at 2.5 million.
Oh, so it did jump up.
Oh yeah.
Because like I never checked up on
literally,
it, but I was just like, wow. I was like, that's all.
Right after I said it, the next day it was just like inflation. So I'm assuming by the next day.
Every time I say something, I feel like we talk about stuff and then like it's just like somebody's watching us.
Hey.
I wish we would get a little bit more credit for it though.
Yeah, it is what it is. We still got the video documentation, so you can start fronting. So when I say he said that and he said it right, and then they can be like, when? I'm like, boop.
You got timestamps.
Right. But nah, it's definitely fire. I'm probably gonna listen to it again tonight. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's all we got for digging in the crates.
That's all I had.
All right, listen. Is that the Adam Sandler voice?
Yeah. You guys remember when Bobby Boucher came back and they won and the Mud Dogs won the Super Bowl? Yeah. Look at that. That was tough. Go on.
All right, that wasn't half bad. It wasn't half bad.
You'll play with this one. Yeah, here you go. I shall put you. Hey, come on, dude. You know,
start singing the turkey song next. No,
turkey
don't
song.
do it.
What's the turkey song?
Turkey. It's so nice. You never heard the turkey song from Adam Sandler? Bro, you're terrible. Don't do another Adam Sandler impression until you listen to this.
Technical foul. See? Hey, there's levels to this.
Oh, but you still don't know the turkey song, and somebody's gonna kill you in the comments for that too.
I don't.
Pythagoras, go ahead and get him. I bet you he knows.
He definitely knows. I'm pretty sure. Like, is that one of the Hanukkah songs, or like he did like a Hanukkah album?
Yes.
I feel like I remember he wears like a turkey hat.
Yes.
Yeah, doesn't mean it was a good song. I just remember it. I remember it though.
I don't think it was meant to be a good song. It was just meant to be funny. And then that joint became platinum. All right, so we'll get into the Insomnia Hour.
I love Billy Madison. It's like he does like that. Hey, what's going on there, Tim? He's like, he's like, oh, Stevie, you're the woo, you. He's like, I peed my pants, Billy. And then what's going on? And the old lady's like, well, peeing your pants is cool. You could consider me Miles Davis.
You all set?
I guess. I just wanted to do the hibbity-dibbity with you, Veronica Vine.
Just so you know, for any reasons, we don't have copyright for any of this. It belongs to Adam Sandler.
I can't believe you let me go on for like 4 minutes doing Adam
Sandler
impression.
I ain't never gonna step on your toes, man. People love your creativity, man. This is one impression we ain't have to throw in the lockbox. So
wake me up inside.
Wake me up.
Wake me up inside.
Save me.
Save me from the nothingness inside.
Not copyrighted, written, recorded, or done in the studio. All right, so got some updates on some new seasons.
Okay.
Got some shows with some new episodes, and I started a new show. Yes.
How do you find stuff at time? Oh, I got a bone to pick with you about starting new episodes too, but like we'll keep going until we get to the end.
So, first of all, the episodes are only like 26 minutes.
Okay.
Then it was in between shows where there was nothing coming out yet, and I was able to just it was only like 6 episodes on the show, so I just watched the 6 episodes that day that I was just chilling while I was doing something else. You know what I mean? But it actually turned out to be entertaining. But we'll start with the Ozark finale.
Okay.
It's coming back on the 29th.
This month, April.
Yes.
Oh, so
have you seen the trailer?
Weeks? No. I've been trying to it's hard because we do this and it's like we have to be up on top of things.
Yep.
But like I've been trying to not watch trailers like in general, like especially when they first drop, because like I feel like I have trailer fatigue, and it's like I get really upset about the amount of stuff that they put in trailers, specifically when it comes to Marvel MCU movies and stuff like that. It's like, oh, like I'm like, why would you show me this? Like, why would you show me this thing? Like I talked about.
I did get mad at the Ozark trailer.
Okay, so something
I'm gonna ruin it for you because it got ruined for me.
Okay,
but Ruth is definitely wilding. And in the beginning of the trailer,
I don't give a fuck, Marty.
First thing she did was hop out of the truck and pop the Spanish dude.
Why would you tell me that? Why don't you just say she popped somebody?
Because it's in the trailer, and if it's ruined for me, it's ruined for you. I'm assuming if
I can't have nice things.
So I'm assuming if they put that in the trailer, there's gonna be way wilder stuff that's happening in the episode.
There better be.
But like Ruth seems like she's literally like, I'm all set. I literally have nothing else to live for. Like they showed like her getting the trailer park where her and her cousins lived at bulldozed and thrown away. Like I think she's literally like cutting any corners of any physical or emotional connection and just going hand.
But I used to think about all the time. I'd be like, you guys don't have to live like this anymore though. Like you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's like and like one of your things is like you're in the real estate game and like all this other stuff. Like, why do you guys still live in these trailers?
That's the end of the trailer where Marty and his wife, I can't remember her name, but they're talking.
Why can I not remember anybody's name either?
Me either. But he's just like, we don't have to be in this life. And she was like, well, I never chose this. He was like, but you did not choose it. And she was like, well, you're a really good spokesperson. And I was just like, end of the trailer. I was like, ooh. So yeah. 29th, which is like literally a couple weeks away.
It's like 2 weeks.
Yep. Get the last of the Ozark.
That'd be the same day as young Derek Whitley's fight. I was about to say basketball fight. His boxing match that's over on the 29th at AIC. Make sure you hit that man up so you can get some tickets.
Okay. All right. Our other season 3 of The Boys.
Yep.
This will be season 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming out June 3rd. I'm happy because that Diabolical Boys was not it. But
that final Diabolical one was pretty solid though. The one versus him in Black Noir with like a young
Homelander. Yeah. That was pretty dope. But I also watched the trailer for this one. It wasn't too revealing, but
except for that, like, I mean, it's not a spoiler anymore, but like Billy gets powers this season. Yeah. And I was kind of like, and it takes a while for that to happen.
What you call it seems like he's gonna go on the rampage. Homelander's son.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, he had the look in his eye like he was not gonna be a good guy. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, June 3rd that comes out. I won't spend too much time with it. We'll wait for it to happen. It's gonna be here before you know.
If you had superpowers, like what do you think that you would do with them? Do I have to give you a power to like what you got for you to understand like what you're doing?
Yep.
All right. So I ask you this then: if you were to have a superpower, what would your superpower be?
I always get asked that, and I always go with multiplying myself.
Okay. So I'm gonna make some rules for this because like when people don't have rules, then it's like you can literally do anything. Because you're concerned.
How my wife identifies who's the alpha one of me, because I don't want to come home and me be cheating on.
Well, it's funny because like in comics, like the way that they usually nerf that is like if you're multiplied for too long, like they start to develop their own personalities, and then you forget which one's the original, and that always becomes a problem. So like we'll say like that's the problem, right? Let's say like you can make anytime that you multiply yourself, it's like half the version of you, but whatever that one does, like you retain that memory or like whatever. So like if you make 2 versions of yourself and they both go to the gym and work out, and then when you absorb them back, it's like you worked out.
Oh yeah.
So like
I'm gonna be like Neo. I'm gonna learn kung fu, weaponry, and get strong all in the same day.
Are you Are you a hero or are you a villain?
I'm a hero.
How do you, as a hero, do multiples of yourself? What are you doing?
It's a good question. I'm just gonna be in mad different places, but I'm still a human, right? So I could probably just still die. I could just be in mad different places at one time. Yeah. Well, I'm assuming if the clones die, I should be all set still.
So you're taking jobs from people who or you're doing it for free?
Nah, if I'm not working I mean, I could probably still work my full-time job and help people at the same time.
What a shitty day. That clone's like, oh, I gotta go to work. Great.
What are you doing all day? I saved the baby. I met with the mayor.
Think about it, like 8 hours, like he's away from you. He's starting to get his own independence. He's like, why am I the one that has to do this? And then like now that's your main villain is your clone.
You always have to be the advocate for badness. You
Well,
always want to make
like,
this worse than what it is.
I just think it's so much. It makes more sense to be a villain more often than not. Like I think about like Spider-Man. I'm like Spider-Man's life sucks for the most part, and it's like he does like the most amazing things, and it's like brother's broke.
If I were to be a villain, I'd probably get a job at a bank and have all the multiples of myself rob the bank.
Wow, so you would be a villain.
No, I said if I were a villain.
Okay.
That'd be the quickest thought that came into my head. Because I wouldn't have to worry about telling on myself because I would be.
How exhausting must that be to like, because everybody knows that you could whatchamacallit, be like, yo, Raisinet, like I'm moving, like, do you mind? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you gotta automatically drop like 8 of yourselves, and it's like, yo, literally no one else could do this.
No, I'll be back in a couple hours, man. All right, so make sure we are ready. That's crazy. Well, yeah,
you do Naruto doing shadow clone jutsu pretty much for the most part. Come on, man. You know something about Naruto. Sorry, I took us down that path. Let's move on to the next thing.
All right.
To answer a question that you're already thinking, I'm pretty sure I'd be a villain, and it's not like a bad villain. Like I'm not murdering people. There's no way I'm not stealing stuff. There's no like, you know what I'm saying? Like my power would be super speed, and it's like it's too easy.
Like you would justify the stealing too.
Yeah, like why not? Because I would do some nice stuff too, but it'd be like, why can't I just get 10 racks like for no reason? Like, why not? Okay. I'm not stealing from people.
You're stealing the insured money that they're going to get back anyway, right?
Yeah.
I feel you.
It's all just ones and zeros in the banks at the end of the day anyways, ain't it?
Who was that?
I don't know. I just did the British accent. Like, I didn't have a person for that.
That was British?
English? What are they on Top Boy? What's Billy the Butcher? What's Billy the Butcher?
They're from the UK, so that's England.
All right, that was bad. That was bad.
So Snowfall's got a new episode out. Did you watch it?
Nope. Listen, it literally came out today.
By far the best episode of the season.
That's good to know. But like I said, it came out today. Like you're really, and that's the thing is like you're gonna kill me on here for the episode that came out today because you stayed up till midnight to watch it. Like like no, man. Like I'm gonna watch it before the next episode. We can talk about
episode of the season.
Okay, that's not saying much.
It was so dope. Scully gave them a wedding present, and it made the episode.
Because I know it's the wedding episode.
Yes,
I did know that.
The wedding episode is wild.
Okay, but like I said, it's like that's not saying much because I feel like this season hasn't been all that.
It murdered the rest of the episodes.
But
I feel like as soon as I watched it and I was so entertained, I was like, this must have been the one last John Singleton episode that they were just holding on to. Like, we're going to get all our whack ideas in. And if it seems like everything's going awry, John Singleton episode. Because this wedding episode could literally be thrown in anywhere in the season.
Okay.
And I think it's just like, because things were where they were just like, this was supposed to be the finale or right before the finale. Let's just throw it in now. But it's only
we are at like 9 episodes.
This
right?
is the 8th episode.
Damn, so like we're really moving.
There's only 2 more episodes left.
But we did get word that they did get renewed for 6th season, and the 6th season will be the final season.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it.
Really?
Yeah. This season has been tough.
But that's what I was saying.
The creativity and the writing just doesn't feel like it's there. So I will, you know me, I'll probably give it the first couple episodes and see what's going on. But if it takes too long, like this took 6-7 episodes to really get rolling.
Yeah. But like to me, 10 episodes isn't too crazy. Like if this was a show that had like 20 episodes, like I probably would have gave up on it. But I'm like, 10 episodes, and then like you're saying that this episode is the best of the season.
Yes.
It's like, all right, so like if you have a season where it's like you have a bunch of C episodes, but you have like 3 A episodes, it's like you had a pretty okay season.
And they ended this might even be a 2-part John Singleton, because the way they ended this episode was like you wanted to see what was about to happen, and they were just like, nope.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I was hoping for.
Yep. It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Make time for it today. I'm telling you.
Today? So that's how we get up out of here, right? Watching that show?
I was asking. Did it sound like I was asking? Y'all look at the camera. All right. I did start a new show.
Okay.
That show is called Bust Down.
What is the show about? What is this show on? And how did you get put on?
Hulu.
Okay.
It just happened to be there.
And they were like, hey, we know you like this stuff. Here's a show that you'd like.
It had a random comedian on there. I don't want to say she's a random comedian. Oh my goodness, I have to look it up so I can.
Why
tell
do you
this
never
guy.
have these things on deck, boy?
It only takes a second. We live in 2022. Like, cut it out.
So it's on Hulu.
Yes. So Sam J, she's a comedian.
Oh, the lesbian.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And her special on Netflix is one of the best Netflix specials that's been out for a minute.
Yeah, it's got Chris Reid in it, who's also hilarious.
That sounds very familiar.
I'll show you a picture of Chris Reid. He was in another show.
Oh, he's from SNL.
Yes.
Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then your boy Freddie Gibbs is on the show. And
is this why Freddie Gibbs is beef with everybody because he wants to move into acting?
I don't know, but I know that man. Remember, I said he barely had any lines in
Force. Tommy
the Force. Listen, this man's got all types of lines. Like he has a
whole character.
A whole character, and he's really acting, and he's not bad at all. Like he's not bad at all.
Does he play a typical drug dealer or does he play something else?
No, it's like they all work at a casino.
Okay.
And like she's a cook. One of her friends is a custodian. The other one like does valet parking. Freddie Gibbs is like the casino manager. Like it is hilarious.
Oh wait, so it's not just good, it's hilarious, you're saying.
It's all right, I won't say it has very hilarious. I enjoy the show. I'm gonna say it's hilarious.
What's the last episode of The Grand Crew that you watched?
I watched all of them.
Oh, you still keeping up with it?
Yeah.
Is it above Grand Crew? Because I gave up on Grand Crew a while ago.
It's really tight.
American Auto didn't stand a chance.
American Auto is a rap. It's a rap. It's a rap.
So you've added it to the UPN lineup though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I put it in my stuff.
I gotta check.
Yes.
Like you put the extra effort in to put it into this stuff.
Yes,
okay.
Because I want to finish. Mind you, like I said, the episodes are only 26 minutes, or I don't know if I did say it's only 26 minutes. So it was really easy to get through the episodes without feeling pressed to have to watch it.
Yep.
And if I had to compare it to anything, it's like a white Frasier or a white Seinfeld, just like a group of friends.
You mean
like
a black Seinfeld or a black Frasier?
I mean, yeah, black.
So
Seinfeld.
Living Single.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. It's like it's like a show that's about nothing, but it's a whole lot of stuff happening, and in that time, it's super hilarious.
We have a lot of black shows like that where it's like about nothing. Like, and our stuff like has to be about like strife,
right? And this is not a
struggle,
right? And this is not a show that's about anything in particular. Like
Grand Crew's kind of like that, though.
Yep, Grand Crew's like that, and there are moments where this like they throw some like. I don't want to say super educational stuff in there, but they'll be like, hey, this is where we're at and feeling about this at this point in time, or they'll have a casual conversation about themselves on how something is whack or something's racist or something like that.
Yeah.
But they'll take a comedic approach about it. Like case in point, like they're at a barbecue and they're the one black friend who's the light-skinned dude. You know how people feel about light-skinned people talking about like black rights and stuff like that. Here we go. Here we go. I knew that was
the high yellow hitman feels some sort of way about talking about light skin.
But that's the way the episode goes. Like he's literally talking with a group of people at the party and he's killing it and they're laughing at his jokes. Yeah. And then the one white dude's like, but if this was slavery days, you'd be in the house. Bro, and
you might have just sold this show to me. Like literally because of that joke.
What's crazy is the black friends laugh at it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's walking around the cookout for the whole episode, man, it's like, this dude think he can just say whatever he wants to say to me. And everybody's just like, yo, why you acting light-skinned, man? What's with the beige race? Like, yo, it's hilarious. It is hilarious.
I'm in.
It's
what's the thing where they take the debit card on it? We joking on light skin, so let's go. I'm in here.
But yeah, it was like I said, Freddie Gibbs is like he did really well. I think the crew that they put together is pretty dope, and like a couple of the people are like new actors that I don't really know from anywhere.
Okay, and it looks like a bunch of comedians for the most part,
right? So. And they really sold out, and they don't have to go super far because like most of the scenes is like either at someone's house or at the casinos. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it just leaves more room for creativity in the show because you're not worried about all the extra stuff. So it's worth a watch.
Okay,
all right, bust down.
Hulu.
All right.
Hulu.
It might be on Voodoo too. Who knows?
At $4. Like Voodoo's eating off that $4. Let me tell you.
Right. And last but not least, there it goes again. Jared CarMichael has a special on HBO.
Gerard.
Yeah, what is up with me today? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm assuming he's not a brother that you normally check for. So like, if you don't say his name.
So I did watch his special before this one.
Okay.
And I remember he had, I want to say Jay-Z had the super dope video where he was the video.
Yeah, it was for the 444 album. Was it?
Yeah.
And it wasn't the Family Feud one.
They were not. No, but it was.
But it was like Zazie Beetz was in it. Like, yeah, he was in it.
And they were imitating Friends, I believe. Yeah. So it was that Jcole CarMichael. You know, he's pretty good. His Gerard. I'm sorry. His comedy can be a bit dark. But in this comedy special, he played like a super vulnerable state where like he's talking about his dad and his family. And he actually comes out in the special, and then it's like he has a whole.
Oh, that's this special. Yeah, I did hear about that, like how he came out in the special. So
right,
that makes sense.
Right, and so like you could tell that he was keeping a comedic approach and being funny, but you could also see that he felt uncomfortable in the vulnerability that he was putting out there, but he stayed true to the course, and it ended up being it was a pretty good special. You know what I mean? So
is he funnier than Chris Rock?
Nah.
The fact that you thought about that is infuriating.
Listen, I'm not saying Chris Rock is not funny. You guys
literally said it's Chris Rock. He's not even that funny.
I didn't say he wasn't funny. I'm just saying to me, he's not my type of funny. He's not my type of funny. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can count on one hand how many Chris Rock specials I have watched.
What about Chris Rock movies?
I can count on one hand how many Chris Rock movies I've watched.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So the CarMichael special is on what?
HBO.
HBO. Okay.
HBO Max.
Yeah. Is it long?
About 58 minutes.
Oh, it's not even an hour? I'm going to bang that thing.
And you got to think like there's like a whole interlude to him coming in to do the comedy, which you don't have to watch. And there's another one of him leaving. So that's probably covers about 10, 15 minutes right there. So it's not even that long of a special. And I'm pretty sure there was a meaning to it because he's like walking in the code to his comedy thing instead of already being there. And he kind of just like comes in, takes his jacket off and walks through the crowd and nobody knows he's there until he actually gets to the stage. And when he's done, he literally goes right back to the same person, grabs his coat and walks out and just lets the people enjoy the rest of his night and whatever he dumped on them that he just shared with them. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's just, he's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. All right.
Because you're about to do it. Because you're not about to leave this, Insomnia Hour without talking about Atlanta, which you was about to do.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just figured because you didn't watch nothing else that you may not have watched this either.
I literally didn't watch one show. I just didn't watch Snowfall.
Okay. What's the last episode of Atlanta you watched?
The most recent one, when they go to that party.
Okay, all right, just making sure because I know you sometimes most recent ain't the most recent with you, but
since when is that been the case?
Supporting me in the Insomnia Hour, and I didn't want to say nothing right here. I didn't want to expose our stuff right here on the show. You know what I mean? But it's okay. You know what I mean? I'm watching the shows.
Speaking of counting on one hand, I think I could count on no hands how many popcorn poppies you've helped me out with.
No, that's not true.
yeah. Think about that. Like,
it's not true. It's not true. I don't believe that at all. You don't believe that at all.
I know I believe that. I think the only popcorn poppies you helped me with was the ones that I took you to the movies to go see.
That's help.
I paid for the tickets. I'm still waiting for the reimbursement.
No, I bought snacks. You bought tickets. I bought snacks.
That is fair. When Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness comes out, I think I'm gonna buy the whole back row. So like, if you're interested in one.
Yeah, bring the boys.
Hey, listen, I didn't say bring everybody. Like, listen, I got
you gonna buy the back row like you 50 Cent at Ja Rule's concert and
just
sit there by yourself?
Yeah. No, like I have family too. Why do you automatic? Because you and your family is like you +9, bro. Like that is the back row.
So we buying 2 rows then.
You buying 2 rows?
No, you buying one. I'm buying one.
No, because like I need my membership points because and
I'm gonna show up early. I'm gonna be like heavyweight bros aisle. Just like don't sit here.
We could go to I almost bought us tickets to a premiere for a movie, but then I can't remember what it was. And I'm pretty sure the movie wound up being butt cheeks too. But so Atlanta, what did you think of the latest episode? I thought it was the second best episode of the season so far.
I think every episode is growing the season to be probably their best season ever. It's just it's not disappointing. Like I know at sometimes some of the Atlanta episodes you could complain that it's too abstract to the point to where it's not entertaining. They are not overstepping any boundaries. Like they're still pushing the envelope, but they're still entertaining all at the same time. I love the fact, like, because I felt like in other seasons, Paperboy didn't have that much of a role. Like, not saying that like he wasn't like it seemed like it wasn't that much about him.
Like he was a passive
Yeah,
protagonist
right.
instead of like an active protagonist.
Right. So now I feel like everybody that's in the show equally has a part in these episodes. Like I like seeing more Paperboy and more influence when he's like he's had scenes with just him and other people that are not main characters in the show, rather than just the only time you hear him from Paperboy is when he's talking to one of the other main characters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love that the like sneakiness, but still wondering what's going on with the girlfriend or
all right.
his baby
So like,
mom.
yeah, let's talk about Van.
Yes.
Let's talk about
Van.
Van.
Her name again?
Van.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Van, but it's just like there's something there.
Something's going on.
There's clearly something going on, and it just makes you that intrigued to find out exactly what it's going to lead to. Like, is it going to be this comedic thing? Is it going to be something heartbreaking? Is this like a touch on mental health? Like, you don't know where it's going. It's like so many different things it could be. Because like her pushing people in the pool at the party and then laughing it off. She's like, it's a party. Random stuff happened. Yeah, at a party of 500 people, it's like 50 people here.
But not only that, it's like it's the way that she's laughing and talking. Like I feel like there's like a bit of a slurred speech thing going on. Like, what's going on?
She's like disappearing and then appearing and then having these weird conversations with people, and it's just like
think about like the whole thing in the last episode with the Tupac guy.
Yes,
it's like like why is she putting herself in these situations?
Right.
Like, something that she wouldn't normally do, which that's probably really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is like she's used to being like the more reserved one, and like she has to play a background role, and like now she's a mom, or she was always a mom, right? Like she was always a baby mom, or whatever. But it's like when stuff happens, like you kind of lose yourself, and it's like sometimes we go to extreme lengths to try to find ourselves.
Yes,
again.
I think the whole chilling at the funeral thing was crazy, but just the idea of like, let's randomly go somewhere. Yeah. Like you just got somewhere where you've never been and you're gonna randomly go somewhere else.
And they lost their baggage.
Bro, I could be a couple states from home and I'm like, nah, fam, I need to remember these streets I'm turning now because this is crazy right now.
One of my boys always says, I was gonna put his name out there, but I know the type of cat he is, he wouldn't want his name out there. Is if you never want to get arrested out of state.
No.
So it's like you always gotta try and play things like as cool as you possibly can. Because like, especially like I go to Florida a lot. He's like, last thing you want to do is be locked up with them Dade County boys. And I was like, you right about that. And I was like, I do not need to be locked up around a bunch of Kodak Blacks.
Nope.
I don't want to be locked up, period.
Nope.
I definitely don't want to be locked up around some people like I don't know. Mm-mm. So like, and especially like Amsterdam.
Yeah.
You ain't about to Brittany Griner me. Mm-mm. That's all I'm saying.
Right. That's where they are, Amsterdam?
In this season, yeah.
Okay, got you. For some reason I thought they were like in UK or something like that. I don't know why.
But I think Van is sleeping with Darius.
I'm really hoping that's not what it is. That would, oh my goodness, what that looks like in the finale.
I'm pretty like, I don't want to say it's like a certainty, but I'm just like, I feel like that's the vibe. And it's like, you know, the type of cat that Darius is just like, oh, it's just whatever. It's a physical.
It's just, like
doing all
it's just two people in a moment that shared an experience.
Yeah, something like that. Now I got to snuff you. Now I got to Will Smith you. Right? Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, no, like, I'd rather you give me some like, yo, like, listen, like, I was really there for her. Like, you know, you do it, you busy and like all this other stuff. And it's just like, yo, like, I'm sorry. But like, yo, you try to give me some like philosophical nonsense because like you think I'm too stupid to understand like what's going on. It's like, nah, I got snuff you. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I do think that is like a thing that is kind of going on. Or if it's not going on, it's going to go on.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what's going on with Paperboy too. Cause it's like, this man's been grinding so much to make money. Mm-hmm. And he's literally just throwing it away.
Well, yeah, it seems like because they never really
like
touched.
He's effortlessly like, I don't really care what's going on.
Yeah, like when they're playing the gambling game, like he unzips his bag and what is it, like 50K he puts on the table?
He just empties the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it turns out to work in his favor, but it's just like it could not have been. And he's just like, all right, I'm cool with it. Like even when he got bailed out of jail,
I was just about to say,
handed him the bag of money. He was like, yeah, let me see this money, and he just threw it to the crowd. Like
yeah, it was like 20K or something like that.
Right. And it's like I get it, but it's like.
But I do see, like, when they were showing us the trailers, it was making it seem like it was the opposite, where it was, oh, he's getting lost to the fame and the money and, like, all this other stuff. But I was like, now we're watching it. It seems like it's the opposite. It's like he's so real that, like, the money and stuff, like, doesn't really matter.
Right.
But he does enjoy the doors that it opens for him because, like, when he goes to the party, like, you know, like, he enjoys being, like, rubbing elbows with these people. But it's just, like, at the end of the day, I think he always just gets frustrated about how much they're not his people.
Right.
Or like how phony the people are up top. Like that really drives him crazy.
Especially for a rapper, because all you do is talk about how unreal people can be and the stuff that you've been through and the traumatized stuff that leads to your bars, and then you assume that you can get into these circles where people will be different, and you just find out that human beings are always going to be human beings, and that can be very aggravating.
What did you think about the white guilt conversation on?
Yeah,
because like I was like, these brothers hitting it on the head, boy. I was like, man,
message.
Yeah, like it's
like fam.
Yeah, when she came back around, he was like,
right. There she is.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. And for that to be old boy's fiance,
yeah.
It's like,
and he's like, I left her, and like all this stuff. And he was like, oh man, are you okay? He's like, not our problem. Not our problem. Not our problem. Not our problem.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Yeah.
Because you damn straight that's not our problem.
Right.
100%.
Right. She did come off kind of sassy at first. I'm like, oh no, sorry, I'm engaged. Like, what? I just wanted you to pass me that beverage.
That happens a lot. I want you to know that. Like, oh, I have a boyfriend. All right, that's cool. Like, you want to check out like that? Congratulations for you, I guess.
Right. I just when people do that, it reminds me of that episode where Seinfeld where the girls walk around. It's like, where's my fiance?
Oh,
I've lost my fiance. Maybe the dingo ate your baby. like, fam, all right, we get it. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know.
But like, to me, Atlanta's been like a big 2 thumbs up so far, and it's like, I really hope it's not a short season.
I hope not either, because we've been waiting too long for this.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, if they come out there like, oh, it's only 8 episodes, I'm gonna be like, yo, oh man, I'll be back.
So before we transition, I just want to ask a quick question.
Okay.
Did you start Top Boy?
No. So, this is the bone I had to pick with you. This is the bone I had. So, like, I literally sat down. I made sure. I was like, I'm all set with everything else. I don't need to watch anything. Let me watch Summer House because Raisinet says I need to watch Summer House. Mm-hmm. Yo, there's 6 seasons of Top Boy Summer House, bro. And then there's 2 more seasons of the new Top Boy. And then I needed to find the Summer House movie. I was like, I'm not doing this, bro. I was like, I'm not. Like, I literally was so pissed off. I was like, I'm going to play video games now. Like, I'm mad because, like,
that's what we're going to do, man. Next time we chill, we're going to watch the Summer House movie. Because I would like to rewatch it all from the beginning anyway. And then,
6 seasons, bro? You weren't going to tell me about that?
No, because I know if I told you, this is how you were going to act.
So you knew that there was 6 seasons of Summer House.
Bro, you want me to watch anime shows that have 192 episodes a season?
I don't press you
about it.
And
4 seasons. I'm not pressing you either.
You were pressing me about Top Boy.
I told you it was worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Oh, so it's Naruto.
Okay.
And it's like, and your whole family watches it.
Okay, so how about this? We'll swap episodes. So for the movie, I'll equivalent 5 episodes of Naruto. You watch the movie, I'll watch 5 episodes. You start watching Summer House, I'll watch another episode.
I feel like the last time I did this, I wound up watching Your Honor. Like, I don't want to do that. like that's what I'm saying is like, I feel like our trade-offs are never equal.
I got you, man. I got you. For real. You'll be like, yo, this is equal. All right.
I'm just not trying to get into a commitment like that. Like 6 seasons, 6 seasons is a
with
lot.
The hands.
It's like I'm not there yet right now.
It's gonna fly by. The episodes aren't
like,
that long.
Listen, man, bust down. Like I feel like I'm interested. Definitely like I'm down.
Definitely get the bust down.
Top Boy. Like that's what I'm saying is like it's been hard enough for me to get like these last 5 episodes of things that we need to watch, and you want me to do a 6-season show?
Top Boy
that's 40 minutes an episode.
Top Boy is so good. My son got mad at me for spoiling Top Boy on the last pod episode when we talked about Top Boy. He was like, I was about to watch it. He was like, did I watch your episode? And I was just like, no, what? And then I went to watch Top Boy and I was like, oh.
Which I told you again to not do that, and you still did it. I was like, don't spoil it. And you were like, oh, it's not even a spoiler. And I was like, I could tell from not even watching the show that it was definitely a spoiler. I told you, man. I told you. Your Honor.
Oh,
that's
man.
all I gotta say.
Cut it out.
6 seasons is a little much. Bust down, I'm in.
All right.
Top Boy, like it's gonna have to wait, man. I know you're going on vacation and we're not gonna be recorded, so like I might have a little bit extra time. We got vacations coming up.
One episode, y'all. We're gonna miss one episode.
But it's like I'm gonna take some time for myself, like as well. So like I think I'm like that might be a show that I put out. Can I watch Top Boy in the background while doing other stuff? Like, can I play 2K but have Top Boy on my laptop?
No.
That's how I ended up getting through Your Honor, by the way.
Your Honor, you can kind of do that with because there are some sleepy parts of the episode where you're like, just hurry up and get
some
to
sleepy
it.
Parts.
Hurry up and get to it.
Yeah.
But nah, Top Boy, you kind of got to know because the relationships of everything that's happening, like you can mess around and miss the wrong conversation or not hear it fully and be like, why are these dudes even mad at each other right now? And you'd be like, oh, that conversation.
And then the language thing doesn't help much, right? Like with the accents and whatnot. Like, what they just say?
I don't know, man. You kind of know when you get around an uncle from down south and you really can't hear him. He's like kind of like Boomhauer.
Yeah.
You go down for a couple family reunions, spend a couple summer vacations out there, and now you understand him just like everybody else. That's kind of where I'm at with Top Boy. So
okay.
You can always throw on the subtitles though.
I put the subtitles on. I can't hear without subtitles.
There you go.
Don't stop, pot that.
We have nothing.
No, because I went and saw Morbius. That's what I said. So like,
go ahead. You can have this.
So I went and saw Morbius.
Okay.
Those who don't know, it is a Sony movie, not a Marvel MCU movie, which is based in the Sony Spider-Man universe. So like the same universe that Venom and Venom 2 are in. Mm-hmm. This movie stars Jared Leto, who plays Dr. Michael Morbius, who he is born with this disease that he's trying to cure. He finds out that I believe
just for him though, it's for somebody else too, right?
Yes, like he grows up in almost like an orphanage type place where like people with this condition, where it's like they all live like in the same because they're trying to do research to figure it out. From a very young age, he seems to be pretty brilliant. He dedicates his life to trying to figure this out. Apparently, bats have some sort of like blood. What's the word I'm looking for? Where like they clean their blood like a certain way. So like he's trying to figure out a way to like utilize that. Filtration is probably like the best word for it. He does that, which then turns him into Morbius, the living vampire. So like he essentially becomes a vampire for this movie. So like that's the general consensus of it is that. The movie itself is straight butt cheeks. So like, if you wanted to just get straight through it, it's like
somebody had put on the gram. It was like they like took a shot of the screen. It was like here to watch Morbius. I was like, did you get in trouble?
Like, yo, it is. It's one of those things where it's like the movie is not good.
How long is it?
It's like I think it was 2 hours. It was like an hour 40 minutes or something like that.
Can't get that time back.
So like, and I saw Dolo because like there was a couple people I was like, yo, you want to go see Morbius? And they were like, no. I understand. I thought like, you know, I had very low expectations of the movie going in.
Okay.
And like from the trailers, I was like, this movie's gonna be buns. For those who don't know, this movie was supposed to come out in like 2020. And it's been pushed back like 4 different times, and it just
I did hear about that, right? Like budgeting concerns.
Constantly was getting pushed back. There's so many things that were in the trailers that didn't end up being in the movie. Like one of the big things was like the whole where the guy's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Venom." It's like, just kidding, Dr. Michael Morbius. Nice to meet you. That's not in the movie. Like, you know, like, it's like that. It's just like all this stuff, and it's like
we got enough whack stuff in here already.
And like. Boy, oh boy, it's one of those things where it's like this movie's bad, but it doesn't have like the one big thing where like this is why this movie's bad. It just stays at like the same thing, and you're just like, I didn't need to see this like at all. And it's like they said, so this is a full on spoiler, but like honestly, I don't think it fucking matters. Like, that's how I'm upset about it.
Yeah.
So like the post-credit scenes in this movie. So for those of us who saw Spider-Man No Way Home, like when he has like the big crack in the sky. So in the Morbius universe, there's a big crack in the sky, and Kevin Costner, who plays the Vulture in the MCU, gets transported to that universe. That's the first end credit scene, is he just gets transported. The second scene, Michael Morbius, he's driving like some dope like Porsche, I think he's driving, in like you know how like there's always like those towns where it's like he's in the sticks for the most part, but it's like those big billboards that like in the sticks, and he drives by one of those, and all of a sudden you hear like, you're just like, oh man, like what's this about to be? And it's the Vulture wearing the Vulture outfit, and he's like, Dr. Michael Morbius, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, I don't know how I got here. I think it might have something to do with Spider-Man, but what I think is guys like us, we need to stick together. And that's the end of the end credit scene. So they're setting up their Sinister Six. So like if you're keeping count, their Sinister Six right now is Venom, Morbius, and the Vulture. There's rumors that the next movie that's supposed to be up for them is Kraven the Hunter. This sounds like some of the most buns Sinister Six I ever seen. There's a lot of Easter eggs in the movie about like the chameleon and the rhino. So I'm like, does that make up the other 6? Are they fighting Spider-Man? Because Spider-Man's not in this universe. I don't know what's going on the nasty scale. So you got full price, you got matinee, $5 Tuesday, streaming, and what you call it. You can completely skip this movie. I don't even think
this is the first time you used the Uno skip card. We didn't get an Uno skip card.
I don't even think that you need to watch this on your phone. Like I think if you did watch it on your phone, you'd eventually put your phone down and the movie would just be playing.
Wow.
It was much about. I was like, oh my goodness, like, I kind of want. Actually, I take that back. I feel like you guys should watch this movie, just so you can watch Tyrese's performance in this movie.
Tyrese is in this movie.
Tyrese plays an FBI agent in this movie, and not only is he an FBI agent, he's the smart FBI agent.
Oh no.
He's the one. He's the one where he's like, now you don't understand is the footsteps are turned in this direction. So because of that, that means he was in a defensive position. He's that FBI agent. Like he's that guy. And his partner is the comic relief type of partner. And I was just like, whoo boy. And like every time that they made
he's in the wrong spot.
Every time they made a joke, I legit like fanned around and I was like, nobody's even smiling in this theater. By the way, packed theater when I went to go see this movie.
Wow.
And I was like, I saw a Dolo and it was like packed theater.
They must have got the free tickets.
Like, yo.
Must have got some free tickets.
I don't think anybody in this movie that was in the movie theater when I went to go saw it was younger than 40 years old. It was like everybody was like, we don't got nothing better to do on a Saturday. Let's go see this Morbius. But like, yo, I was just
where are they from with that accent?
You're gonna go say I'm not gonna Morbius. It's probably where your uncle from down south you talk about something like Boom Power.
Yo.
But yeah, you could completely miss this movie. Like that's the thing is like they set it up or people were talking about it like it was awful. Like where it was just like, oh my God, this movie's so bad. But it's like it's not that. It's just so not good. Like there's so much things not happening. And it's like what I was saying about this movie and Venom is like we're so far past these type of superhero movies. Like there's so many different type of superhero movies that we have out. This feels like this belongs like in that time frame of like those Ghost Rider movies and stuff like that, where it's just like, what are we doing in these movies? Like nothing's happening. He winds up fighting. He does the cardinal sin where it's like you fight another vampire. So it's like two of the same person fighting each other. And it's like, he doesn't win in a dope fashion or anything like that. It's just like, what was this movie? Like, I don't get what was this movie.
I'm just waiting for you to stop talking about it.
You're right. Like, I feel like I've given it too much airtime. Like, as it is. I don't like. Actually, never mind. I'll keep this last comment to myself. You can,
no, go ahead. You can get your last comment.
No, I don't want to. It has nothing to do like what the movie has to do. Like, I did meet some people that did enjoy it, and then they told me that they didn't like the Batman, and I was like, I don't understand how we're here. I don't understand how we're here.
Wow.
How did you like the Batman?
Huh?
All this heavy lifting that you've been helping me with this popcorn Papi.
I'm watching it tonight.
Great. Now there's like 3 movies coming up this weekend. I got to figure out which one I'm gonna watch. We got like Sonic 2. The movie, it's like Everywhere, Anywhere at Once.
Oh yeah,
with Michelle Yeoh. That's the one I really want to
see. She's an OG. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Absolutely, she's been on a ton of stuff. But
like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was a gem.
That's the one. Come on now. With Zhang Ziyi, we never saw her again after that.
That blade,
the Emerald Blade.
What's it called? The Dynasty Sword.
Yeah, what a fire name for a weapon. The Dynasty Sword.
And it's just like cutting through stuff like, and that joint was so, man. All right, we won't.
That one scene where Michelle Yeoh's fighting her and she's taking every single weapon off the rack.
Weapon and going through the plethora of styles, and girl could not handle it. She couldn't handle it.
But because she had that sword.
It's like just because you have the sword is the only reason that you
otherwise
you were still alive.
Otherwise, young girl.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have lived to tell the tale. Let me tell you.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Right.
All right, we can cross over. So over to the Hardwood Check-In. You know what I mean? I was definitely gonna just let you do it by yourself.
Was it?
When you started, I was like, oh yeah, he could just do it then. You want to commit? Let's see it. Then go full on
in.
in.
Wasn't committed. All right, first things first.
Just like Duke wasn't committed to.
I was about to say because I told you though.
You did.
I did tell you. I did tell you. Yeah. I did tell you. I almost called it against Kansas. So we might as well couple those together. Duke lost to North Carolina. Carolina put
you should have took the bet. I don't know why
Kansas.
you didn't take the bet. You were scared. Scared money don't make no money.
Yeah, because neither. Yeah, I guess. But I don't know, man. I feel like North Carolina could have won a national championship.
Absolutely. They were up,
and I
what,
feel
50
like
points in the championship
But
game?
even after that, I feel like the same thing that helped them get there was the same thing that helped them lose. Caleb Love was wilding.
Okay.
I think he had missed I'll say within his last 8 shots, maybe he was probably 1 or 2 for 8. But shooters shoot, and they always feel like they have the green light, and there's no shot that looks like a bad shot to them. But he was taking some really bad shots.
Can I just say, I've never gotten the narrative where people are just like college sports are better than professional sports. Because the whole time I was watching the Duke game and I was watching the North Carolina game, and I was like, there's a lot of guys that don't need to be on this floor right now. You know what I mean? I'm just I don't understand why this person is out here and this is the type of stuff everybody's like, oh, college sports is way better. I'm like, how? And when you play in the NBA, it's like there's some dude that you're like, oh, he's butt. But it's just he's just butt compared to everybody else. But it's like this man, his job is to make these shots. And to do this.
I think what people like about college is that you always feel like you're watching a brand new episode.
Okay.
Because the kids are coming in and out, going to the league, and there's always something always a new character, if you want to say, in a TV show. There's always an introduction of somebody else that you can fall in love with their game and say yeah, this is the guy. In the NBA, you always have just what's there until the new regime comes in, and then you got to see if they're going to make it or they're not. You always have that consistency of seeing greatness being built in college basketball, I guess.
It's a take.
I
would say that it's a take. I was just I just don't know. But people especially they're I don't know how you watch the NFL, college football. I'm there's 40 college football games on every week or during the college football season.
College football be real though.
Yeah, out of the 40 games, 2 of them are good. For the most part, all the rest of them are oh, they won this quarterback threw for 700 yards and they won 68 to 12. And I'm why is this interesting? Why would we want to watch? Who's the worst NFL team? Watch the Houston Texans play the Central Golden Eagles, or play why this is what these games are at the time. It's no. All right, I should have picked what's a bad team? The Commerce Raiders.
That's what we doing. That's what we doing, hater.
How did the Commerce do last year in football?
That's what we doing, hater.
I'm a Golden Eagle, bro. Our job is to hate Commerce, right?
No.
Who are we supposed to hate?
Our job is to love the city.
I guess.
Hate all the other people around Springfield that don't want these kids to be successful.
I guess. Congratulations to the Kansas Jayhawks for winning the national championship. They came back from a 15-point deficit at halftime.
And a lot of kids is going to make it to the league off that game.
Oh, 100%.
A lot of kids.
I don't have anybody off the top of my head, but I was a lot of these people just put their names in the draft.
Definitely. And despite Caleb Love having a bad game, I still think he's going to be a high draft pick. Still think he's going to be a high draft pick.
Oh, there's no doubt he's going top 10.
Yeah.
Who he's going to, I don't know. But he's definitely in the top 10.
Well, that's a good segue to say the Knicks will probably have a good shot because both of them in LA have not made it into the playoffs.
You're just going to hop over South Carolina like that?
Oh, shoot. I didn't see that on there. My bad. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say South Carolina defeated UConn to win their second title. And they're not back-to-back, though, are they?
I believe so.
Are they?
Yeah. Shout out to Don Staley. I think Don Staley's their coach.
Okay. Well, whatchamacallit?
Did you know a dope thing Don Staley did?
No.
She had a special where somebody had gave her a piece of the net and was returned. They won a national championship and gave Don Staley their piece of the net because you know how they cut the net. It was give me mine's back when you win your own. And Don Staley won. I'm pretty sure South Carolina is where she coaches, and they won last season. And what she did is she cut her piece of the net and cut mad small pieces and sent it to all the minority female coaches and all of college basketball with her picture and a card and a letter, and was when you win yours, bring me back my piece. Was pretty dope of holding up that tradition. And now here she is winning another one.
Another one.
Yeah, it was pretty fire. And they did it in dominating fashion.
Yeah, because
against a team that was not no slouches by any means.
Paige Buchers is one of the best female basketball players I've seen in quite some time.
Yes.
She's they call her the female Steph Curry. And I'm this is a legit claim.
Yes. And UConn was running through stuff.
Running.
And then they hit South Carolina and them breaks came
Yeah, it was crazy. I think they only scored 50 or 60 points.
Yes. I think they lost by 20 or almost 20. It was
It was bad.
Dominant fashion, but I mean, they got a NBA coach, WNBA coach. Like Don Staley been through it. Pretty sure she won a championship before.
I'll take your word for it. Congratulations to South Carolina for that dub. Now, if you want to pivot over to these Knicks, if you want to, yeah, I wasn't even going to talk about them, but apparently you want to talk about them.
Yeah, Knicks in LA did not make the playoffs, man. It's just like that, man. I'm hoping that it leads to a draft pick that helps us to build and get Pumpkin up out of there and see what happens. Like something's got to give, man. Something's got to give. But I think that LA one stings more than the Knicks. Like,
well, yeah, what the hell was that Nets game though? So like they were up on the Nets by like 20 something points, and then all of a sudden the Nets just were just like,
that's the story of the Knicks season. They've been up on people 20, 30, 35.
RJ Barrett was looking like the next coming for a minute, and then it was like,
then they just blow the leads. You know what RJ Barrett does? He'll give you 18, 20 points in the first half, and then he'll finish with 27. And like RJ Barrett had 27 tonight. Like, yes, I know. He had 3 in the third and 4 in the fourth. Like, come on now. Like it's got to be a consistent. Like, or if you're gonna give me 27, give me 7 in the first half and give me a dub in the second half, so you can spark momentum for somebody else to get the scoring. It's like we always start out hot and then we just fizzle out. Like we can't finish the race, and it's just aggravating to watch. But
so,
we didn't have
your thing is you'd like to see a whole new, like, we're cleansing this team for the most part. So like Derrick Rose is gone, Julius Randle's gone, and like who remains? Like who are the people that you still want?
Anybody young.
So RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, Mitchell Robinson?
Yep.
Obi
I don't
Toppin?
think Mitchell's going to stay because he's been balling. He put on some weight. He had another good season coming off the injury.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to pay him, and I don't think he's going to stay. Obi Toppin, yes. Something has to give. We can't keep mixing and matching. It just has not worked.
So would you like the Knicks in the upcoming draft, like a point guard? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, we need a solid point guard.
Okay. Is there anybody that you have your eye on that you're looking at?
No. I will take any of the people that were in the last 4 teams.
Okay. What about Caleb Love?
I would take Caleb Love, yes.
Okay. To be honest, like the skeleton of that, like obviously you can get something for Julius Randle, and it's like whatever that is, like whether it's just cap space, whether it's draft picks, whatever. I hope you don't not get anything for him.
Right.
And then
I think even if he's gone, like Obi's minutes increase, and I think Obi's ready now. He
had a couple of nice moves in that next game. Like I was just like, okay, all right.
He's shooting the ball better. You know what I mean? You could tell he's put the work in. And if anybody who's committed like that can grow into any type of player.
Okay. So I mean, we can't not talk about the elephant in the room, like the Los Angeles Lakers. Mm-hmm. They LeBron
stress loss.
What?
Stress the word loss.
The Los Angeles Lakers were eliminated from contention. They wound up losing to the Spurs, which was like the big one. And then the Spurs won their last 2, and the Lakers lost their last 2.
And it was like some real odds. Like the Lakers had to win all 5.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy stuff.
Or they had to win 4, and the Spurs had to lose 3. It was just
the rating was on the wall. Right. So like
it was almost like we can win. We just gotta score a touchdown and kick it onside, and score a touchdown and then kick it onside, and score a touchdown and kick it onside. Yeah. And we do all that in 30 seconds and we win.
Yeah.
It was not gonna happen.
LeBron, because he sat out the last 2 games, he was absolutely he was eliminated from being able to win the scoring title.
Yep.
Because like the minimum amount of games needed, I believe it's 60, and I believe he only played 58 games. And it's like he sat the last 2 games.
That's crazy.
So because of that, he's not able to win a score, because like I think statistically he still is the scoring leader. But like Joel Embiid, due to this mathematical thing, like LeBron can't win it. So Joel Embiid right now is our league leader in scoring.
They're pushing for MVP.
Joel Embiid? Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, he's one of the 3 guys to me.
Yeah. Giannis is making a hard push.
He is.
Or he made a hard push. There was 1 game left in the season, right? Or has everybody played their last?
The games end on Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday's the last day. Which, let me know when you want me to get into this this bubble scenario, what we got going on.
Go right in.
All right. So, the way things are shaking out right now, as of today, there are a couple games that.
Before you get with that, I did have one more thing. My bad.
Go ahead.
The Chris Paul effect.
Okay.
It is legit. I know people keep asking about it. Like, does Chris Paul really add value to your team? when he comes over. Of course, people love Chris Paul, but like a lot of people say, sometimes you can't play with Chris Paul. He can be sometimes too demanding. Sometimes he's ball dominant.
Mhm.
Does he really make teams better? So, I mean, he literally has, and I just saw this today, he literally set not him by himself, but of course, every team that he went to has, every year that he was there, they set a franchise record in wins.
100%, yeah.
So like the Hornets had like 50 plus wins, New Orleans 50 plus wins. Then he went to the Rockets. They had like 60 plus wins. So the Thunder had like 50 plus wins. And then the Rockets had like 60 plus wins. Then the Thunder had like 50 plus wins. And then the Suns now, they just won their 62nd game, I believe.
63rd.
63rd
They
game.
franchise record, 63 wins.
There you go. So
more than the Steve Nash run and gun Suns. And the Charles Barkley Thunder Dan Suns, too.
Sheesh.
Ones that went to the finals.
Right. Never forget that triple overtime game. That joint was fire.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Quadruple double from Charles Barkley?
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, like, I don't think there's any doubt. It's like when you have a steady point guard, he's one of the 3 or 4 greatest point guards of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you kind of steady the ship and you like have the vision and he executes the coach's vision, he makes sure everybody's involved. He changes the culture. Like, how much would you be willing to give with Julius Randle to get Chris Paul on this Knicks team?
We would only get a few years from him, so I don't know how much it would value us.
They were like, we need at least 3 first-round draft picks.
No.
Okay,
I love Chris, but it's just like
2 first-round draft
picks.
picks.
He's like what, 37 now?
He's about to be, because he's like a year younger than LeBron.
So you're telling me we're getting a 38, 39, 40-year-old Chris Paul, we got to give up 3 first-round picks?
That's all I'm asking.
It's going to definitely sell tickets. It's going to definitely win some games. We're definitely going to go out the first round in the playoffs.
In the East?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, you see 2 first-round draft picks.
Talking my language now. About a first round, a second round, and Julius Pumpkin Randle.
Well, Julius Randle has to automatically get thrown in.
Yes.
And it's like you need automatically a first-round pick like as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking the second-round pick, bro. Yeah, like unless you're giving me like 14 second-round picks, like I'm not doing it.
Me too.
No, you can keep that. You can keep that over there, and you can keep that lube that you were trying to use on my record.
I'm going to 2K to see if that trade works.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so the East is pretty much set right now.
Okay.
There's only one game that like really, really, truly matters, and that is the Magic and Hornets.
Okay.
Which is, I believe, is a Saturday game, because the Hornets right now are in the 10th spot. So if the Hornets lose against the Magic could potentially take that 10th spot. So the way that the East is shaking out right now, the 4 teams that are in the play-in tournament are the Cleveland Cavs at 7, the Brooklyn Nets at 8,
that's crazy,
Atlanta Hawks at 9, and then the New Orleans Hornets at 10 with the potential for the Magic.
And the Hawks just beat the Nets the other night.
Yes, they did. The Nets have been getting smacked by everybody except for the Knicks, apparently, like recently. So April 12th, like the way that this works, I thought it worked a lot differently than it actually does. The 8th seed plays the 7th seed, and then the 9th seed plays the 10th seed. I always thought it was the 7th play the 10th and the 8th play the 9th. Apparently, I was incorrect on this. So, so potentially, we can have Cavs versus Nets, and then Hawks versus Hornets. And then they have to play each other.
It'd be Nets versus Hawks again.
Pretty much.
And I might mess around and take the Hawks on that one.
I think I might take the Hawks too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So the West is a little bit different.
Okay.
So the Nuggets are in the 6th seed. They're only 2 games up on the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 games that are actually pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs are playing the Timberwolves, who the Spurs are right now in the 10th spot, and they've won like 4 of their 5 last games or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Blazers are playing the Pelicans. The Pelicans are in the 9th spot, so they could potentially move up because they're not very many games up.
Mm-hmm.
The Grizzlies play the Nuggets. Now, the Grizzlies are the number 3 seed. If they beat these Nuggets, the Nuggets could potentially drop down into the play-in game. So, like right now, like I said,
which eliminates somebody if they mess around and lose a fluky game from the what? Oh, wow!
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a little. So right now, the Nuggets are in 6,
mm-hmm.
Timberwolves are in 7, Clippers are in 8, Pelicans are in 9, Spurs are in 10.
Mm-hmm.
So that means potentially we could have Clippers versus Timberwolves. So Patrick Beverly versus Paul George gets his old Clippers team.
I'm going Patrick Beverly.
And then Pelicans versus Spurs, which it sounds ugly, but like for some reason, like I like the ball that the Pelicans have been playing. And then I like DeJounte Murray. So like, but like apparently he just got real sick recently. And like he's missing a ton of time. Like I can't he lost a bunch of weight and like all that stuff from like whatever illness that he has. And like a little bit of a storyline to add to this. This is supposedly Greg Popovich's last season. So I think that like that's one of the reasons why the Spurs have been making this crazy push because they don't want him to go out.
Why, right?
Why?
He's going to Coach Duke.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
I would love it.
If it happens, you know where you heard it first.
I would love it.
Of course you would.
Like
he would dominate.
But just real quick, Greg Popovich.
He wouldn't even have
five greatest coaches of all time.
To recruit. Kids would be knocking at his door like, "Hey, I got 4 more years of high school, but here's my video. Here's my mixtape.
Yeah. Watch my ball is life."
Right.
Yeah, but like Greg Popovich, 3 greatest coaches of all time.
You said 5, and then you switched to 3.
Because like I'm thinking he's better than 5. Phil Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Red Auerbach.
Okay.
And then who else is like really in there with like Lenny Wilkins, like he has a ton of wins. I'm trying to think of like who has a ton of rings besides
Pat Riley.
Okay, Pat Riley or Greg Popovich.
That's tough.
Jeff Van Gundy. I know a lot of people love Jeff Van.
I mean, Jeff is legit, but
Eric Spoelstra is like really good. Doc Rivers.
No.
Chuck Daly.
Doc's got 1 ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got 1 ring. He did that with the
anything is possible. Yeah.
Like,
the annoying ass 08 Celtics that just refuse to go away.
Goodness.
Like, they act like they are the San Antonio Spurs and they're just winning.
I can't remember what I was watching, and it's gonna bother me. But like, it was a comedy show. It was like a TV show. And somebody screams anything is possible in the show. And I was just like, come on. I just got through telling somebody how whack. Nah. It might have been like Blackish or something. It's just like, why is this what's happening right now?
No, I feel like I saw this too. Was it Abbott Elementary?
It was Abbott Elementary. It was Abbott Elementary.
Which we didn't talk about in there, but like, yeah, a thorough episode as well.
Definitely a thorough episode. It keeps getting better.
I'm all in on Abbott Elementary, by the way. Whenever, like, we were talking about not watching Snowfall.
It's appealing to my life.
But it's just a great show.
You had me at hello. You had me at the first episode where the teacher was fighting the student. What is happening right now?
Like, that's pretty much all I had. Like, I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to drop in on the Hardwood Check-In. Like, I know that our next episode is going to be pretty slow.
Yes. You're not going to talk about it? Your boy Bronny said he wants to go play with Steph?
Oh, we can talk about that. Like, yeah, who doesn't want to play with Steph?
Come on, man.
What?
This is what we doing now? Like, your team did just not make the playoffs. They talking about AD may have to end up somewhere else.
They asked him the question. So if they would have asked him, who's the player that you want to play with? And he would have been like, I don't want to play with anybody. I want to play with Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. You would have been like, this brother's lying. That's a trash answer, right? What's the answer he was supposed to give? Like, it's very clear and apparent he's been wanting to play with Steph Curry. He's like his first pick in every All-Star
That's
thing.
what Steph said too. He was like, "Oh, really? That's what he said? Huh?
Exactly.
Makes sense. He picks me every All-Star game."
Yeah, like it's not even
I mean, Steph played that joint super cool. Like he's been waiting for this girl to ask him to the prom, and he finally did. It was like, "Yeah,
but she said that. That's what she said.
I'm all set."
Yeah. You can say that if you want to, but like Steph's looking around at how hurt these Warriors are. He'd be like, LeBron would be real nice right about now. He's like, if he does, he's gonna be like, Draymond, I swear to God, if you drive this man out of here, like, you could be on the next plane ticket, bro. We will get you and Andre Iguodala on the same.
Turn around with a toothpick in his mouth, like,
we built some things around here,
right.
If it wasn't for that suspension, like you wouldn't even have what's called the one where he's to Kevin Durant's chest, like yeah, like but LeBron's also said that like wherever Bronny goes, that's where he's gonna go, something like that. So like. All he's really telling us is like when his contract is up.
This is Bronny's junior year.
Yeah.
So he has at least 3 years before he gets into the league.
No, it's 2 years. No, yeah, you're right. Because you can't come straight out of high school. You're right.
Yeah. Senior year, first year of college, and then he would be in there.
So next year and then the year after. Next year is LeBron's final year of his Lakers deal.
Mm-hmm. He just takes 1 year contracts until then.
This man almost just like legit won a scoring title. LeBron's got like at least three more years in him, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely going to play with his son.
We're like, obviously we're still in the season and like we have a lot of stuff to get to anyways, but we're going to be talking about, if you're LeBron James, what teams are you looking at to be like, I could potentially go here? I bet one of the automatic ones is the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's like, why not go back to the Cavs, Darius Garland, Colin Sexton?
He's going to go to the Knicks.
So like
back for that curtain call that he didn't make the first time.
Man, get out my way. Watch out as I come through. Busting in your line, cracking numbers in too. When I bring that pain and what you gonna do? We harder than hard, rougher than rough. Rah! We don't have much in the Blitz section. Like,
yeah, we can get to home cooking right after we get this apologies out of the way.
Yeah, because we got April Fooled. Odell Beckham did not sign with the Packers, and Julian Edelman did not sign with the Buccaneers. We got played, bamboozled, led astray.
Apology.
Yeah. IG just looked straight up at it and was like, clean out your locker. I'm out to get you.
The only acquisition that I seen that looked like it was important was Justin Reid going to the Chiefs.
That name sounds so familiar. Justin Reid.
Safety from the 49ers. He took the knee with Cat. He was out the league.
Gotcha. They blackballed him too for a little bit. He went back to the
Houston
Panthers.
Texans. Yep, Panthers. He was with the Houston Texans, I believe, last year. And now he's going to the Chiefs, which further lets me know that Chiefs are officially saying we're all set in the Tyrann Mathieu thing and wondering where he's going to go. I know he did visit the Saints.
I heard about that.
He said it was less about the money and more about just like that's a team he grew up watching. Like, I get it.
Honey Badger. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't care.
Malcolm Jenkins just retired too.
Right.
Like, so like, don't do that to yourself, bro.
I mean, at least you're gonna get a lot of snaps because that offense is not gonna stay on the field at all. It's gonna be 3 and out every time. As soon as you sit down, you're like, oh, it's our turn again. So
we're about to leave the Blitz again, and I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about another important thing that happened. Well, I think it's important.
Okay.
Frank Gore signed a 1 year or 1 day or whatever contract with the 49ers, and he is officially retiring from the NFL as well. I believe Frank Gore is third all time in rushing, which is insane.
And he's playing football while he also has a son that's playing football.
And he beat the brakes off of Darren Williams, didn't he? So like, there's that too.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
No, he got knocked out.
Did he lose? He did lose to Darren Williams. It was because we were like everybody was betting against him.
Yeah,
and he caught that L.
Yeah, he got swayed because I remember they had that one photo where he was just like didn't keep his hands up, and Darren was like, "Oh, really?" Boom, and he looked at it, was like, "Oh, that one hurt."
But yeah, much love, tons of respect for Frank Gore. He's also a former Dolphin for a little while. One of my favorite.
He's a former everything. He's on like 17.
He was. One of my favorite Lil Wayne lines, I believe it's on the freestyle for If I Ruled the World. He goes to a little thing and he's like, an address is because I think I'm the mother and best day is. He's like same like Frank that is from San Francisco, and I got more banana clips than chimpanzees. And it's just like, shout out to Frank Gore, man. He made it into a Lil Wayne bar.
That's what's up. All right. Well, we'll go and click right on over to home cooking.
I'm coming home again. Do you think about me now and then? Do you think about me now and then? Cause I'm coming home again. It's time for some home cooking with Big Nasty and Uncle Raisin.
All right, so we'll get the fun stuff out the way first. So there's a movie that's gonna be shot in Massachusetts.
What's it about?
I will tell you. It's a film about two brothers who are pulled into a deal with the organizational crime syndicate in Boston. And it has Tommy Lee Jones, Jenna Ortega, and Ben Foster will star in this production. And it's going to be being shot right in New Bedford.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say, I was like, well, like, you said Massachusetts, they ain't coming to the field.
No. Even though they were pretty close when Mel Gibson had the movie that was like right in Boston, I believe.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but like it was actually a pretty solid movie.
Yeah, but it's gonna be in New Bedford, which is, I mean, it's about like an hour and a half, 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
And they're looking for casting like locals, so they want people who are like fishermen. I guess there's a lot of fishing in New Bedford. But like people who know the town and just want to be extras in the movie. I guess it saves them money to have to go hire a bunch of actors that you have to pay top dollar to just
Yeah.
walk down the street or something like that. So if you feel like you have an acting bug and you want to have a chance at trying to get on the screen, then you can head out to New Bedford. The casting, they're accepting submissions. I don't know where you have to go to, but if you look it up online, then it gives you a way to like go through the casting and fill out why you want to be like part of the casting crew and stuff like that. So
Well, seeing as one of us said that like you could act on the drop of a hat and like whatever, like why not go out for it?
I'm with it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't want you to be mad when I'm inviting you to my trailer with the extras. I don't want you to feel like I'm being extra in the fact that I got in the movie and you did not.
Let me hear your Boston fisherman accent.
I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to walk.
What do you mean? How you gonna walk fishing?
I don't have to be a fisherman. They're not all they looking for.
What else are they looking for? Show me like you gotta be, if you're gonna be an extra, you're not gonna be a fisherman, you have to talk.
No, these people probably aren't even going to talk in the movie.
They
They're
said
just
they're
going to be
looking
in the background.
Okay.
Extras,
Okay.
not extra lines, not an extra actor. It's just bodies.
All right. Watch out, Tommy. You're like,
What is that?
you gotta do one of those. Like, yo, what you got?
Like, hey man, where you going? I'm going to the park to play wicked hard in my Jordans.
This man's gonna be a star.
Where's my car keys? Where's
Oh,
my
my
car
goodness.
keys? What did you do with this light? Keep your feet to
I'm
yourself.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And other news, Chicopee School Committee put Superintendent Lynn Clark on leave following FBI arrest.
FBI.
FBI arrest.
The bureau isn't on the superintendent. Is that why we haven't been getting a lot of snow days?
So I haven't got a chance to completely read the article. What I have gathered is that Lynn Clark supposedly sent a bunch of like threatening, incriminating emails to someone who was going to become a police chief or going to run for police chief or something like that. And then when questioned by the FBI, because these are all federal paying jobs. So when questioned by the FBI, she wasn't completely honest with the FBI, which is perjury too.
Yes.
Like you don't always have to be in the courthouse. Like FBI is asking you questions and you're lying, you get caught in that lie, and you're going to be brought up on criminal charges.
Yep.
So she has been relinquished of her position, and acting superintendent Alvin Morton will be in her
That
place.
sounds like a black name.
It is definitely
And that picture is definitely a milk dud type head. Let's go.
Yeah.
So you trying to tell me we got an unseasoned woman out of the office and we got a brother in there?
Yeah, I mean, most people say she's really good at her job, especially during the pandemic situation of like getting kids back into school once it was time to do so. But like all of this other stuff is definitely a glaring eye on like the community and education, and just assuming that all people that are associated with this could be the same way. So she's awaiting arraignment to see if she will be held out on a leave with pay or without pay. I think it's like a certain amount of votes, and she's able to have leave with pay.
The FBI could come to your job and arrest you, and they still gotta pay you.
Bro, do you know how many police officers have killed people and was out?
I understand that, but we understand like how corrupt the police system is as well. But what I'm saying is like you trying to raise it. If they pulled you out of your school today for like anything, and they were just like, yo, you can't come to work, they still paying you?
No,
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I get it. And it could be a situation where, because there are some people who are like, these are funds that could be going back into the school system that we're paying this person to not do their job that they have already done incorrectly. And it's a lot going on. And then I don't know if this is going to result in jail time or whatever it is. I will continue to follow the story. And the more that I get from it, the more I will share. But as of right now, she's under FBI investigation.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have anything else for home cooking?
No, that's it.
What's next?
It's heavyweight lovers time.
Okay.
And it's definitely singles hour.
Wow, that's what we're calling it. That's what you're doing?
That's not a good thing. Does that mean or discriminatory or not something you want to call it?
Yeah, it sounds kind of trash. Like, I don't want to say it's mean or discriminatory, but it's like, yeah,
it's the Bumble hour. Let's get a little Bumblebee going by. Y'all can sponsor us too. My homie's on Bumble. He's got a great profile pic.
They can just reimburse me my funds. That'd be good. That job's expensive.
Or maybe they make you the tutorial guy that tells everybody else how to build a little face. Joel comes up. You want to build your profile here. Don't post your scars.
You know how much we call it in the Atlanta episode where it's like the young kid is just like, yo, like he's clearly scamming this bid, but let's
yes.
Like, how are you supposed to help each other out?
Yes.
Like, is that what's kind of
yes. I got you.
That was another real deep thing that like they kind of touched on. It's like what because like he was just like, but he's black.
Right.
And he was like, so?
I can see your hands like, don't post pictures with a bunch of people. How do we know which one is you? Oh, this is you? So get rid of all of this.
I definitely went on a little swipe surge the other day and I saw a lot of people. I was like, look at you doing faux pas. Messing up. Well, let's get into it. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you don't give up.
All right,
Just
so
you wonder where I've been. I searched to find love within.
I came back to let you know.
Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong.
All right, that's enough. We
with
don't have the
me.
copyright to that. All right, you're not about to be taxing my upload, talking about there's something wrong with this one. I don't
Actual factuals.
Real life bars. All right, so today, Big Nasty, we going with good first date topics.
That's not really what it was. It's not really good first date topics. It's more or less just how to navigate first date conversations.
Okay, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, because it's like good first date topics. Like that's just tough in general.
I always think of Everybody Loves Raymond. I don't know if you ever watched that before.
Oh yeah.
He goes on a date with his wife and he's like, "This bread is the perfect temperature / density." I promise you, every time me and Lou would go out to eat,
they give the free bread,
and we look at each other. It's like this bread.
So like, I feel like we always need to talk about the fact that like this is supposed to be like a progressionary series.
Yes.
You've done your profile.
Yes.
You slid in your DMs.
Yes.
You You achieved and got the first date. You picked the dope first date. Now you're here and you're sitting at dinner at the dinner table across from this person.
Okay.
Hopefully you've done your homework. Like that's always the thing is like you should know what this person is into, what this person kind of likes, what this person got going on for the most part. So like that way you're not really sitting there like, oh, like what's your favorite color? What's your favorite number? Like, what do you like what's your favorite style of food to eat? Or something like that. Like that should all have been done in the, in the DMs, because like, that's the small talk stuff that like, we're out of there. Now we're here. First and foremost, you should be the first thing that you should do when you like, especially, all right, what I'm going to talk about is like when we get to the restaurant, but pre-restaurant.
Okay.
First dates.
Okay.
You're supposed to be meeting at an undisclosed location. Please do not meet at somebody's house. It's really not safe out here to be to be doing stuff like that. So like the number one thing is we want you to be safe and we want you to be comfortable. So you two should be taking 2 separate cars. This ain't like the 90s where we used to be like, hey, I'm gonna pick you up at 7 because we met that person already in person. We spit our game and it's like, now I'm gonna pick you up. Now it's a little bit different. Like, it's like, I didn't reach you. Like, I still don't even know if you're 100% the person that I was already talking to.
Factual.
So like, I should be taking my car. You should be taking your car. We should be meeting at said location. I would suggest the gentleman arrive first if you can. So like if your date is for 7, try to get there like 6:30, 6:45. Tell her that I am here. This is what I'm wearing. So that way you can do the like when she walks in, you put the hand up, you do come. First things first. I pop up, freaks all done. You should find something to compliment about this woman when she comes in.
Okay.
It
can't be something cheesy.
It can't be cheesy, like, and it can't be too crazy.
You got nice eyes.
No, and it can't be
I really like your gloves.
Because they took some time to put this outfit together. The comment needs to be on this outfit, whether it's the shoes, whether it's the dress, or just like, wow, you look stunning. You look great. Love the way that this dress looks on you. Real simple stuff, because then you'll get the thank you. That eases a little bit of tension right there. You both take your seats, stuff like that. And then you could say something along the lines of like, I'm really glad that you took this date, or like, I'm really like, or an easy way to do is be like, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, but like seeing you come in, like you look great, stuff like that. It's like now I'm in it right now, stuff like that. It's like you make me more comfortable or whatever. Say something like along those lines to like kind of like ease that tension. Hopefully, and it's like this is kind of like specifically to the women. Like let's not do like the 1-word answer type things. Like this is the time. This is early on where like we need to like almost like stretch out stuff like as much as possible.
Okay.
So like saying stuff like just be like, oh, thanks. And then like sitting down is like, no, like, oh, thank you so much. Like I just got this from da-da-da, or like this is an old thing from whatever. This is like my favorite shirt. This is my favorite top. Like this is building conversation pieces because I don't know any of these other things around you. I don't know anything about you unless you tell me.
Okay.
So it's like you need to kind of like stress things out. So when you just go, oh yes, oh like, hey, how was your day? Like before this, oh, it was good.
Elaborate.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, come on, you got like you need to be like elaborating
what's good
so much more. Like, yeah. Oh, okay, like that's cool. Hey, like if I remember correctly, you do such and such, right? And then it's like, yeah. What's that like? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, come on, like I shouldn't have to be pulling
one more of these and the date's over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, like I can't be pulling stuff out of you and stuff like that because it's a lot, and it's like it's already the date itself is already strenuous. It's like, you know, having to plan this, having to set this stuff up. All that stuff is like really nerve-wracking. Then it's like, will you even show? If I get here first and then you see me, are you going to walk back out because like I'm not as attractive as like you thought I was, or like whatever? It's like all those nerves and stuff like that. And it's like I have to play it cool that I'm not all this nervous. It's like I'm supposed to pretend like like usually the women are the more apprehensive ones, and it's like because that's what they like is like to be more outgoing and showy and stuff like that. Because then it's like that's how you show that you care and like how you show that you like them. So it's like try to ease our nervousness by giving us stuff to work with, like and like I think a thing that we always touch on before too is like know yourself. And it's like if you're not the most talkative person, like if you're pretty shy, like ask about things that either one you already know the answer to, or like something that you know can lead it to something else. Like one of the easiest ones and one of the ones that I do all the time is like I'll usually say something that, like because they'll be like, oh, like what do you usually do like on Saturday nights or Friday nights or something like that. I was like, yo, honestly, I love to just be on my couch and binge shows. Like what shows do you watch? Like what are you into? Or something like that. Like, yo, what is the thing that's taking up your time right now? And then if I have heard of it, like, oh, love that show. Or like I watched that show. That's this and this. And then that's its own conversation right there. If I haven't watched it, tell me about it. What is this show? Kind of like what we do when like you watch a Bust Down. I'm like, Bust Down, what's that? Where's it on? Where can I watch it? Because then that could also be the thing you guys start to watch together now. And it's also a new conversation piece. Right now, hey, just watch the first 3 episodes of Bust Down. Like, let me tell you something about Rosa. Like something like that. Because that shows
there was a Rosa in the show.
Come on, man. There's a Puerto Rican in there. There's got to be a Rosa. I'm just kidding. Like,
I'm just kidding.
Rosita? It's all the same thing. Like none of those. But no, like so far, you with me?
Yeah,
am I hitting it?
I'm listening.
Okay, so like that's kind of like the main thing of like where you want to be is like we're trying to break this ice and break this tension like as much as possible because there's only so much time before the food shows up and y'all not going to be talking much anyways except for like how banging it is or like how
food do you order at a first date? Because you know you're not about to order the rack of ribs and all that and you're like, how was your day?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but in the last episode we talked about like you don't want to go to a place like that. You want to go to a place where it's like it's first of all, there's alcohol.
You want to get too full. I remember.
You know, like, hey, like you want what you would call it? We want to get like either some wine or some alcohol, like whatever type of things that we into. And then like wherever it is, like, yo, fork and knife. We don't want to get our fingers dirty because, like, you know, it's like but like you don't know what you're gonna need them for later. Like, last thing you want to do is have dirty hands and like, and then you know how I get my shirts get when I start eating. So like I plan accordingly where it's just like, first of all, I can't wear no white. You know that I'm not allowed to wear white because I'm going to make a mess of it. And it's like, I know if I get something on my fingers, I'm going to do something dumb and it's either going to get on my glasses or it's going to get on my shirt. So fork and knife, wherever this place is, as much as you can. Appetizers, dinner, dessert, like all that should be taken care of. That's bang, bing, bang, boom. Like that's all day. Are you writing this stuff down or you doing it?
No.
I was like, bro, like,
I forgot.
Is there something you planning on doing that like I don't know about?
Oh, no. Listen, man. Our first date with my wife, every time we go out, got to keep it nice.
What's that like?
Huh?
What's that like?
Bliss.
No, but I'm saying, like, what's it look like when you guys go on your first dates? You said every date's a first date night?
Yeah.
What that look like?
Well, I mean, sometimes it may just be going out just to get a bite to eat and just kicking it, chilling, like being real casual, having some conversation like you were just saying. But other times it may be like, hey, get dressed, put on something nice. We're about to go out to eat. And then even if that somewhere is not super extravagant, at least we know we in there the best dressed, feeling the best, you know what I mean? And we looking like we out meeting each other for the first time. You know what I mean? It's a dope experience to share.
Okay. So like I know
it's not my week though. Go ahead, my bad.
No, it's cool because like what am I gonna this ain't a class where I'm just like talking for 40 minutes.
No,
like,
no.
It's like like the back and forth is what keeps this thing going and also keeps my mind on track. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like if there's a don't, it's like certain things kind of need to be touched on, but it's like the level of which you touch on them, like we kind of just don't need to go there type of deal. So
explain.
So like what I mean is like, for instance, one of the questions that always comes up is like, so like, what was your last relationship like? That's a big female question. It's like, oh, so like how come you're single?
Your body count.
No, that comes up too. Which is like but they're just like, oh, so like how come you're single? Like what's the longest relationship like you've ever been with? Or like, what about how come you and the last person didn't work out? And it's like, yo, we're not here to talk about these other people because one of the worst things is when you're talking to someone and they just will not stop talking about their ex or comparing the things that you do to their ex.
And the framing of that is all based on potential negatives.
Yes.
So we're going to be having a conversation about why you potentially would not want to have a second date or continue to be in contact with me.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, your ex is your ex for a reason, right? Even if like you guys have a cordial relationship or like whatever it is, like it didn't work out and it didn't work out because something was not working or did not happen. So like, let's not bring this negative stuff into it. We don't really need to know about all that. Right. The only type of things like you really need to know about is if you're co-parenting and it's like, you need to know like, hey, so like, do you get every weekend off? Or like, do you get this off? Like, how does this work?
Let your baby daddy at the door.
Is he one of those?
Right. I just feel like if you're doing those type things, then like something that could have ruined my last relationship may not be a deal breaker for you. But based on you hearing the explanation about how this didn't work out, you can build a tolerance of saying like, yeah, that's probably be a deal breaker for me too. And it's just like you're sending everything the wrong way.
Yeah. So like I said about like doing the homework and stuff like that for her. And I know I keep using like the skiing example and stuff like that. But I think one of the things to bring up to like in person, and it's like you could have used it in the DMs as well, as like, I'm really glad that you swiped right on me or like you did whatever. And it's like, what made you like say yes or whatever? And it's like, if it's not a good answer, where it's just like, yo, listen, it was one of those days where I was just hitting right on everybody and whatever, 6'6", please lie. like I hope.
Wait, you starting the date with a lie?
Hopefully, I'm ending the date with a lie too. Trying to lie on top of you.
I knew it.
Come on now. But like, yeah, it's like, I hope that you did your homework as well. And like, you think, oh, who's this person I'm going on a date with? And then you just swipe through the thing real quick. And it's like, you can say anything. It's like, honestly, I thought this answer that you had was real funny or whatever. But then being like, hey, like, I know we talked in DMs about the skiing and then like, something like that. Like I was actually looking, skiing is pretty expensive or just something like that. And it's like, they're just like, oh, let me tell you. Cause like I've done this and and then they start going into stories about skiing. And it's like, I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things about dating, I think it's one of the reasons I'm kind of addicted to it, is I love hearing people talk about the things that they're passionate about. Because it's like the way, like, it's almost like they're almost a different person. Like when they're talking about like mundane things versus the thing that you actually care about. And then like these stories that like, the way I'm gonna word this is like you feel are important or you feel are engaging and stuff like that. It's just like, I can sit there and listen all day. It's like that. I'm like, tell me more. And it's like, I don't even need to say anything like half the time. It's like, yeah, like, what's that like? Couldn't imagine that. Like, and then like, people have like 1,000,001 experiences. We all go through 1,000,001 things. Just like when you don't have the things that are exciting and you don't have that, like, you should never like frame it that way. Cause like, there's some people you go on dates and you're just like, oh man. So like, what are you really into? Like, honestly, I haven't really been out the house in 7 years. And it's like, I've been like, oh damn. Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay. So like, is it because like, like you're a homebody? It's like, no, I just used to, but then like I got with this person and it's just like, when you're with someone who's just so emotionally abusive, you're just like, geez, like this is heavy, man. Like, this is some stuff that we gotta talk about like later, like let's not go here and just be like, oh, like, like I like to go out, but it's just like, being a full-time mom and with a full-time job, it's like I don't really have a lot of time for that, but I like to dance. I like to this. Like one of my favorite things about going out is music. And it's like, oh, what music are you into? Like, what concerts have you been to? And it's like there's so many avenues for these things. And then it's like you obviously have to order food in there. And like the thing you gotta do is like, so what you thinking about getting? It's one of my least favorite conversations to have. Because I was thinking like the asparagus and the fried chicken because I like asparagus and fried chicken. It's like what are we talking about? And it's like I always be stuff like that. It's like listen, like all this stuff on here looks good.
Put a twist on it.
Yeah, like
so one of the things me and Lulu started doing is like we reverse dinner.
What's me? So you order dessert first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you go in there and be like, yeah, let me get this fudge tower right quick. I'm like, this is gonna be my appetizer right quick. I'm like this that way you're getting that intimacy like right off the rip, like you're building, like you're taking away that safeguard of like that wall because that's gonna come out with of course the little fudge cake and the 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 spoons. Like, go ahead and take this spoon over there. Come on, we're gonna see who goes for that last little piece of cake.
That's tough. That's tough on a first date.
Like, now you go ahead and have it, but you never know where it goes. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Worst case scenario, you're like, hey, listen, man, I'm a dessert before my meal guy. That's what I'm doing right now. Would you like something? No, I'm okay. All right, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and bang this right quick. You know what I mean?
And then she'd be like, yo, what's up with this dude? Like, he does dessert first. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
You're trying to be as
memorable.
That's the thing is like you're trying to be as not weird as possible on these dates. Because like the last thing you want to do, because after the date, she's gonna go back and talk to her homegirls. And she's like, yeah, like he ordered like dessert first, and like I'm over here eating like a brisk, and like he's over there like chowing down on the cookie.
What did he order for dessert? I'm like, really? What's his Bumble?
I don't even think Bumble works like that, where you could just search people up. So like,
throw somebody at Bumble LU.
Like, I don't even think you could do that. Like, yo, check out my man's and just like share his profile.
Like, hey, I'm just coming in from the other profile over there.
You come in and step in.
Like you wanted to say hello right quick. So you ordered dessert first, huh?
But one of my things that I do is I go, what's the worst looking thing on this menu? And they're like, ugh, this sounds awful. So that I'm like, well, that was actually my number 1 choice. They're like, are you serious? I'm like, no, but like that does sound awful. Unless they do pick the thing that was mine, and then I just order something else. I'm like, oh, like now I'm embarrassed. But it's like I said, like,
I had a backup plan.
Right. It's like, oh, well, this is awful.
Sure.
Like, so like the whole point of like the first date, especially like the way we talk about it, is like you kind of want it to be a 2-pronged date where it's like you have the dinner first and then you have whatever the excursion or whatever the thing is afterwards. Like, so like if it is a Dave & Buster's, if you are going on a walk, if you're going like to do all this other stuff or whatever, it's like you want to make sure that like you're engaging and you're having enough fun that you can go to the secondary thing.
What's prime date time?
What do you mean?
Like what time is a good date time?
Whatever time they're free. But if like most people go at night, 6 or 7 o'clock is usually tough because most people get out at 5.
Mm-hmm.
So like that 7:30, 8 o'clock range is like pretty good because then it's like if you want to go to the secondary location, even if like if you're having so much fun that you're like, we even want to go out now, like where we want to go to like a club or something like that, like you can do all 3 of those things in enough time where it's like you've done like a 3-pronged date.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. So like now we can do that. But like the ultimate goal, and like, this is something that I was gonna save for a little bit, but it's just like you want them to either want to leave there to go back home,
mm-hmm.
or or not even go to the secondary location. It's like, I don't even want to go there. Why don't we just go back to and do all this type of stuff? Which is another conversation where it's just like how, Steve Harvey has the book where like, what is it, the 60-day rule before you give it up?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like some people are like on the first date basis. Like what? Like how do you feel about that?
First date basis?
Yeah, where it's just like, yo, if the vibes are there for the first night, like why not?
I mean, I've been out of the game for a minute, man. long time ago.
I mean, but you got some young men that you putting through the ringer and stuff like that now, and they're getting into the dating game or whatever.
Yeah, that first date is for the birds.
What you mean?
This is not long term.
What do you mean? But there's just because
I instantly just get to thinking like how many first dates you've been on this month.
Man, if that's where your head's at, because it's like, first of all, I'm never concerned about what other people and what other things got going on. I'm focused on here the entire time.
I'm not saying it's not fun. It's not a good time. It's just like you are now may have fallen into a certain category.
Okay, and if you did, like, is it a bad thing? If that's your only date, and on the first date you whatchamacallit?
No, I'm not saying that's not bad. I'm just saying like it depends on like what your intentions are. Like if that's cool for like this situation, then that's cool. But if like you're looking for something more, then that may not be what's it. You know what I mean?
I always say whatchamacallit, and like this
could be the wave I'm riding until I get on the boat.
If you feel safe,
that was fire too, just so you know.
It was okay. it was a spark. It was a spark. No, it was fire.
You said it was a spark note?
Yeah, it was a spark. But like, if you feel safe, if you feel comfortable, if you are if you feel, aroused. It's like I can't believe I just said that out loud. But it's like if you feel the vibe is there, and it's like you pick up on it, and it's like, and they're down with it, like, yo, why not? And it's just like, I don't think you should be looked at any differently for it.
No, I don't think it's a why not thing. I don't think it's all about being looked at differently. It's just like I said, it's like this may just be like a little kick it fling type thing.
It could be. And it's like, it's funny that you brought that up, because next week is going to be, my next topic is going to be like kind of like the DTR, determining the relationship, like where we're actually at and like what are we actually doing and stuff like that. But it's just like, because if that's what it is, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know about you, and like you haven't done this in forever. But like when I'm on these dates, there's two different perspectives, and it's like I feel like I put a lot, and I say it's like men versus women, and it's really just me versus whoever. But it's like, I say like most women that I talk to, like it feels like they have a checklist, and it's like they're not really asking for the things that like you like your vibes or like stuff like that, or like your personality. Like they're not really trying to get to know you on that part. They're trying to get to know what you can provide. It's like, where do you work? What do you drive? How much do you make? Like a horrible question is to ask somebody on a first date how much money they make. Can't tell you how many times that's been asked to me. And I'd be like, hey, like, honestly, like that's not something that I wish to disclose. And it's like, when they press it, I'm just like, oof, this is like a big turn off right here. Red flag.
Do you give them a number?
No.
Do you be like, it's not much.
I'm
it's
like
6 figures.
Enough to take care of this date.
Hey,
stuff like that. And the next spot that we go into, like, yo, you don't gotta worry about my pocket. I'm good.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm good, so we good. That's all you really need to know.
Yeah.
Type of deal. So
let's see. It's kind of a red flag of insecurities, like
because like I've had them where it's like I felt like I'm on an actual interview. Where it's like I'm sitting across from you, and it's like I feel like you're like legit asking me 20 questions, where I'm just like, I'm asking you about like these experiences and like what you're watching, and like we're haha, and the kid is just like, yeah, that's great. So like you live where? And like was something like that. And I'm like, oh, like I mean, like it's something like that. It's like
I can show you better than I can tell you.
Don't get too crazy. Because one of the things we said before is like you don't want to try to introduce sex too early in these conversations, or like you don't want to be like I said, like you could say things like, oh man, like you look gorgeous, like, by the way, you're more beautiful than I expected, stuff like that. But like when you say like, damn,
that
like
sounds kind of crazy.
What?
You're more beautiful than I expected?
Look, you're more beautiful than your pictures. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, like I thought you were beautiful in your pictures, but you're even more beautiful in person.
There you go.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that framing was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to speed through it to get to
like, you're not as ugly now that you're in front of me.
Let me tell you, like, this lighting, it's
working for you. It's working for you.
You certainly know your angles.
Yeah, you got an Olin Mills type of thing going on now.
Who?
Olin Mills. You never went to take family photos at Olin Mills?
No.
Dating myself. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Somebody out there knows what Olin Mills is.
The fact that like you used to go someplace to take photos, like I feel like we went to Sears.
Yo, listen.
Olin Mills?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, bro.
Spot. Spot. Like my mom be like, put on this Cartier sweater, just a little gold chain over your little button up.
Yeah.
Lady be like, tilt your head to the side. Now look that way. Bring your neck in. Hand on mom's shoulder. We're smiling. Every time I look at those pictures, I'm like, trauma. But the trauma looks so well lit.
Olin Mills knew what they were doing. Why are they out of business now? That's a real question.
Because everybody got camera phones. Ain't nobody about to go nowhere and take no pictures.
Don't say that, because we just did a photo shoot not too long ago. So like, we paid for those pictures.
You're right.
Nah, I'm not trying to like wrap this up though. So like we get out of here. It's like because I know like we're running long, and it's like this portion of it is running as long as it is. But yes, it's like be engaging, elaborate. Any stories are welcome, because it's like these people do not know you, so like they only know you through what you tell them. So like
Mm-hmm.
you have some stories, and especially if you have some stories that you know kill, find a way to introduce those stories into the conversation. Like, you got a couple ones that you're like, every time I tell, like, I know there's some stories that like I already know, like when conversations go a certain way, I know Reid is about to tell this story, and you tell the story because you know the story kills. So you want to tell interesting stories. Maybe before you even leave out, tell the story to your friends, and they be like, keep that one in the pocket. Don't tell nobody that. Don't be too aggressive sexually. So never be like, so to the point, like to say, so what I was trying to say is like, be like, oh, like you look beautiful, like stuff like that. Don't be like, oh man, like you look so good, I can't wait to tear that thing up later. Like people do stuff like that. They're like, oh my God, you so fine. I like do stuff like
OG lollipop in the ashtray, caddy driving type stuff, man.
Like, yeah, that was a visual. But it's like, you don't want to be like too aggressive, because like I said before, the last thing you want to do is talk yourself out of some stuff. And it's like, that's a real way to do it, because it's like, I think most people like assertiveness, they don't like aggression. And it's like, that's the type of line that gets misconstrued like pretty easily. Or it's like you're doing like a little bit too much, and it's like, it seems like, ooh, like I might be in danger type of deal. But, this is a big but, sometimes the vibes, like you could kind of feel it going some type of way, and it's like you do the little stuff, and it's like if certain things keep on sliding, then it's just like, all right, like I know where we headed. And it's like, you just be like, hey, like what you kind of say like at the end is like, so like after this I had planned to go here, stuff like that. Is like, is that still the plan? Or like if you already brought up the TV show, like, you know what I'm saying, be like, oh man, that bust down show sounded pretty good. It's like, do you still want to go to Dave & Buster's, or like do you want to just grab a couple bottles and then go back and check out Bust Down while I bust down? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
I was wondering how far you were gonna go with that.
I was not gonna go crazy, but I felt like you were looking at my eyes, like you were like, bring it there.
I felt like you had like 3 more about
you wanted it. I could tell by your outfit that you wanted it. Like,
oh my goodness!
Oh,
so rapey. Stop it.
That was the point. Don't come off rapey, please don't come off rapey. And like when it comes to sex on the first date, as long as you feel safe and you feel comfortable, this is the whole point from taking the 2 cars as well. Because the last thing that you want is to be on a date and the date is not going well, and now this person has to bring you home, and now this person knows where you live, and now this person that you either you feel a weird type of vibe to, and like you kind of want to avoid, now they're doing the thing where they're driving around your crib every once in a blue moon to try and run into you and like do all this type of stuff. You go your way, I go mine. The second date, once you know that things are all right and it's cool, now you can pick me up, and like now we can start doing stuff like that. Because then also another thing too is like, a lot of times if you do go back to the crib, I don't want to wait for you to leave in the morning because like I have to drop you back off. Like I need you to skedaddle before a certain time because like I got some things going on tomorrow. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of where I'm at with it. Do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, you killed it.
Thanks. I felt like I was fumbling like a little bit like in there in the middle, but it's just like it is what it is.
Happens on first dates.
That's what I'm saying. I'm much of an improviser anyways. Like I don't really come with like a whole script or anything like that. Like, you know me, like I fly by the seat of my pants. But it's like this is for more like the people who aren't so outgoing, or it's a lot harder to get conversations out of them and stuff like that. And it's like you need to make something last as long as a dinner lasts. And a dinner's typically 45 minutes, an hour. Especially like if you're getting like the 3 courses, you could only talk about the food and the decor so much. And it's like the easy stuff is the day-to-day stuff. Like we all have jobs, we all have to work, stuff like that. If they have
2 courses,
only 2 courses,
dessert and dinner.
No appetizer?
Dessert's the appetizer. I just went over this with you, man.
So you be having mozzarella sticks next to your your cake? You have appetizers at the end? Do you do the full reverse?
No, it's not that appetizer.
Do you also eat pizza from the crust first and then go in?
Yes, that's the only way to eat it.
You might be a terrorist.
No, I'm just
that means we butt. That's what you're telling me.
What is wrong?
Because you go from back and you go back.
Bro, this brother's tripping. This brother's tripping, man. This brother's tripping.
Sorry, I feel like I had to say it.
This brother's tripping, man. We're from a terrorist to all of that. This brother's tripping.
But yeah, much of now I'm trying to wrap this up.
I know. Wrap it up.
But it's just like, talk about things that are of interest. So that way, like, like people like to talk about things that they are interested about. So give them that. And then it's like, know your stories, know the stuff about you that's interesting. Avoid talking about past trauma, like in general. Because it's just like, yeah, like I'm not going to be a mean person. And it's like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't care about that. It's like, I'm going to let you talk your stuff. But it's like, I don't really want to hear this stuff, especially not right now. Like I'm really trying to find out what type of time that you're on, and do I want to spend my time with you? And it's like every time I spend my time with you, it's gonna be you talking about the past stuff that happened with you. That is daunting. And guess what's good thing we didn't go to seafood restaurant because there's nothing but jumbo shrimp down here.
Oh my goodness!
All right. Do you have a Raisinet? Do you have a Raisinet? I mean, a cultural gem.
I have both.
Shine bright like a diamond. Let me get up out of here before I go crazy.
All right, so I know I've been with the trend of like I want to say like Black excellence. I've definitely been doing a lot of Black movies.
I thought that was the point, and that's why it's called cultural gem.
Yes.
Okay.
This one I feel like it's still a cultural gem, but it's not any Black people.
Is that a single Black person in this movie?
Nah.
What movie is it? Lord of the Rings?
None other than the Goonies.
Oh, there's an Asian.
Huh? There is an Asian.
Yeah, my man Short Round is in there.
Yep, there is an Asian in there. But like
and whatever Sloth is.
Did you see his mom and his brothers?
That's a good point.
Baby.
I know a better one. Superman. Better. You better?
Oh, you did with
That's what he does. Come on, man. He doesn't have a lot of words that he says. Let me hear your Sloth.
This man said he loves Chunk. This man said Baby Ruth, Rocky Road.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
He's like, man, it's like, you drop Chunk. Like,
let me hear it.
Sloth. No, I'm not doing it right
Why
now.
not?
You're trying to derail me.
Right I'm not trying to derail you.
All right, so.
I'm just saying.
Huh? I'm listening.
I'm just saying. You dump
it
does
on have a star-studded cast.
Oh, yeah. They were star-studded at the time.
Oh, my goodness. Look at Chunk.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. All right, so you got Sean Astin, you got Josh Brolin, you got Jeff Cohen, you got Corey Feldman was a big one. Ke-Huy Quan is actually the name of the kid that you called. What did you call him? Round Square?
Short Round from Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Martha Pimpin, Ann Ramsey. Like it's a lot of people in this movie. Definitely no Black folks, but it's definitely a cultural gem. It's definitely one of those movies that I grew up on. It's just like it's a classic.
Are you gonna tell people what the Goonies is about?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
All right.
I do this.
I'm sorry. I'm really mad that there's no Black people in this movie. I'm looking at the thing. I was like, man, the only Black in here is these black and white photos. Let me see them.
Yeah. But so yeah, it's a group of kids that like live in kind of a impoverished community, like they're about to lose their home and stuff like that. So they go on this adventure in hopes to find this forever claimed or unclaimed treasure in a pirate ship. That's this folk tale in the city that they live in. Comes to find out that it was actually pretty true, and now there's this big chase between them and the supposed bad guys of trying to get and find these jewels to try to save their family's home and their community, as opposed to also not getting killed by these bad people.
We don't make a lot of movies like this anymore.
No.
And I feel like it's a problem.
It definitely is.
Like,
Because these are movies where kids are allowed to be kids. All movies these days, kids are playing grown roles.
Or it's animated.
Or it's animated, and it's like the aspect of innocence is being taken away.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because there's no Black people in this movie, and Short Round is the only non-white person, stuff like that. But it's like nowadays, like I feel like that's how they would try to play it. Is like they're in like a group home,
right?
And it's like they're all got like these issues and like all this other stuff. Where it's just like, no, like can we just go find some treasure? And
like Mike.
Yes, like Mike. Poor Bow Wow. Literally. Poor little mama. Where can people watch the Goonies?
You can watch it on Tubi.
Okay. But Tubi's getting
Yep. And it's free on there.
Oh, wow.
You go YouTube.
Damn right.
Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And Vudu.
That voodoo, baby. How you do the voodoo that you do?
It's crazy because there's no O in it at all, but you keep making it O. It's literally.
No, it's a D. That's the V for the voodoo.
Oh, okay. Got you.
I also did put mad fingers up right there. And it was there was like never a V and never, like I was just doing like this.
Yeah, you set tripping.
Imagination.
We're not affiliated. Don't worry. Don't come looking for the heavyweight, bro. I am Raisinet.
Okay, you got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I know this weekend coming up marks the beginning of Resurrection Sunday.
Yep.
So Friday being Good Friday and Sunday, of course, being Resurrection Sunday or Easter Sunday, as most would call it. I just want to be mindful of people who understand, like, if you do celebrate Christianity or you are part of a church body that you collectively worship with, let's make sure that we understand this is not about bunnies and this is not about passing out chocolate or even who is the best dressed walking into the church on Sunday.
That's one of the best parts, though.
Right. I mean, it is fun, and it's just, I think that's more of a cultural thing, you know what I mean? And it's definitely something that I don't say you have to go away from. It's just like we get so caught up in all of that we forget the reason of why we're actually going to this place to worship. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the same thing that happens with Christmas or on people's birthdays. Like you spend so much time trying to do all this extra stuff to show people you care, when sometimes it's just literally just being around and understanding that this is that person's day and they just want to celebrate it with you. So it doesn't always have to be the monetary show of affection or just trying to outdo somebody else, because that's literally what this day is completely not about. And that's it. Short and sweet.
Good enough to eat.
Hey.
Like a brother went on TLC. Great.
How did I not know that there was more to that? But yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got for the Raisinet, man. Don't worry, I'm gonna have more black people for y'all next week. Goonies was the gym for this.
We hopped out of February. This brother forgot how to act.
Oh, come on. That's not what it is. Goonies was one of the joints I grew up on, man.
Brother said this week is green fried tomatoes.
Everybody loves Karate Kid. How many black people was in Karate Kid?
One. And he's in Cobra Kai.
How many fights did he have?
Or he didn't have any fights.
No lines. He lost his fight.
Yeah. But was Karate Kid one of our movies?
No.
Okay, so
why we bring it up? Be though.
I mean, you do love you some Karate Kid.
I do love me some Karate Kid.
Is that your favorite movie?
No.
What's your favorite movie?
That's a tough one.
I know.
That's on the spot.
I know that
Jeez,
bothers you.
That's so tough.
I'm not gonna do that, but like I kind of want you to just marinate on it, because like the anxiety that you have, I just wanted you to start throwing some movies out. Like these are in contention.
Like if I just went like off the top of the dome, I'm definitely going like Rocky.
Okay, number one.
No. Just stuff that popped in my head just now when you asked me. I was really big on Inception at one point.
You really were big on Inception at one point.
Higher Learning is definitely a big one for me.
Eddie Murphy's your guy. Not Eddie Murphy. There's no Eddie Murphy movies. Coming to America is not one of your favorite movies.
Coming to America is definitely there. Boomerang's up there too for some reason.
Boomerang doesn't get the love that it deserves.
Harlem Nights is definitely one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies.
I'll
never forget the way he smacked Della Reese on the shoulder when he was apologizing when she was making that tuna sandwich with the bread that was just thick.
Somebody said recently that Vampire in Brooklyn is an awful movie, and I was like, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but I was like, I vehemently, like, my body was just like, there's no way Vampire in Brooklyn's awful.
Doesn't it have Kadeem Hardison in it? Is that his name, Kadeem Hardison?
You asking the wrong one on that one.
Dwayne Wayne from Different World. He used to have the flip up glasses.
Yes,
he was the
yes, he's in it.
Yes, like, come on now.
They were like, oh, because Vampire in Brooklyn is just awful, and I was like, what?
People are just haters.
Go watch Morbius and tell me what you think awful is. Tell me.
Choose what vampire you would like to watch. If you had to watch the movie twice in a row, which one are you watching? Vampire in Brooklyn all day. But yeah, man, that's it, man. Have a great pod, man. And next time when we get together, it'd be the big 4-0.
40.
The big 4. I know you're gonna have so many E40 references. All right,
I wasn't gonna have any E40 references, but now I feel like I got that. There definitely is gonna be like a trying to get to you in that booty, trying to get to you. Girl, I'm a shaking and backing.
Oh, man, let's get out here before he starts sprinkling.
What's she gonna do?
Before he starts sprinkling us, man.
I'm not waiting for him to finish.
We'll be here all day.